Morning, everybody. Finally found an angle that works. Took me long enough. Glad you guys were patient with me. Um, as I shown in my story, we're gonna have the big guy on this morning, Jason Pharo. There he is. Morning, Jason. Let me let's see here. Okay.
Yo, what's up? Well, you got my mug on this side. I gotta switch this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I am in this.
I'm
Oh,
having to like lay down on the table so people can see me.
oh. I don't
I
want to scare
finally
the shit
found
out
a
of anybody.
damn I finally found a damn camera angle that worked.
Eh,
I didn't notice this other little connection on my thing where I could actually flip my clamp onto my
Yeah, yeah.
tripod. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. Long story
It's all
short.
right.
So,
Yeah, we're all guilty.
how you
That's for
doing this
sure.
morning, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Not bad. Not bad. How about yourself?
Man, I was doing pretty good till I was checking through the news and I seen that we lost a rock legend today, Meatloaf.
Yeah, meatloaf. Yeah.
Man.
So my wife, I love her to death. She sends me a text message this morning. She says, the singer from Meatloaf died. I
Oh
said to
wow.
her, I'm like, so you mean Meatloaf died? That's what I told her.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
was like, but God, bless her. It's not really her genre, so I get it.
I got
But
you. Yeah,
yeah,
my if my wife would have done the same thing if she wasn't,
yeah,
such a big fan. That was one
yeah,
some of our songs as a couple when
yeah.
back in the day when we were dating. We loved Meatloaf.
Oh yeah, it's hard to beat Meatloaf.
Oh yeah,
It's,
I don't care who you are. The guy was just awesome. I mean, not
yep.
only as a performer, but he was awesome to his fans, man. Even up
Oh yeah.
till he couldn't really perform, he would still get out and just tour, just to see fans, just to say hey, take a picture, sign something. Just super great guy.
Yeah, he seemed to be, because sometimes you hear stuff from different rock stars, and they can be real pain in the asses or real shitty to their fans. I never heard that about him.
No, no,
Yeah.
never. So I know what you're working on this morning, and it's looking
Oh yeah.
badass.
Yeah. This
I'm
is
gonna be. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying this is three panels on a page of Resurgence. I uh, I call this conversations before death. So that's what this is going
That's
on right
all
now.
you gotta say, buddy. I
Yeah,
got you
yeah.
loud and proud.
Well, I think I actually said it was conversations in the dark before death because this is what I
Mm,
was speaking about. Like I said, it's all supposed to be pitch
right,
black
right.
here, So uh, I said I didn't want to go the Looney Tunes route and just show their eyes and speech bubbles. That would have been a little. I think it would have been funny, but I don't know. I don't know if it would have really
Yeah,
endeared
it
me to
doesn't
everybody.
really. Yeah, it wouldn't really fit the tone you got to your book, though.
No,
It
no,
would have
I'll
been
save that for you.
hilarious, but
It would have
yeah,
been hilarious.
I might have to do
Yeah.
that later on one of these days. Just if I ever do like a parody book or something of the
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
it's good to do
EOD.
that. We actually have a parody version of the Convictor. It was Dennis Valencia. Dennis made it. It was we call it the Kid Victor, and
Oh
it's like a
wow,
kid version. Yeah, and so we kind of built this whole little multiverse thing around it, where he's a kid and he lives in Gum City and instead of Gut City, stuff like that. And that would it would fit in with that book. If I was ever going to do something similar, like I would definitely do something very cartoony like that because it's kind of how I view all that character. So it'd be fun because it's nice to have that break. You can do something
oh
funny. Yeah,
God, yeah. You
yeah,
got to
without
have that
without
every once in a while,
yeah, without hurting the
especially with the
characters.
kind of right, especially with the kind of
Yeah,
books you and I do. I mean, super
yeah,
dark, super gritty. You
Yep,
got to have a break from that every once in a while.
absolutely. And that's why I said so. That's why
I think we
when
got
Dennis made
Chris
this.
in here.
Oh, did he? All right. Oh, there's Dennis. We were just talking
Yeah,
about you, Dennis. We're talking about how you made up the kid Victor, and so we're talking about how we made him part of our little multiverse. If we ever did a Convictor multiverse, like he would definitely be in it. So
yeah, that's awesome. I need to one
yeah,
of these days when I get a little further on in my story, I'm gonna have to sit down and do something like that.
yeah, it's fun because I've seen like every time someone does like a particular fan art, like Dennis's son Parker drew a Convictor, and he gave him like a cowboy hat, and he gave him like these cool camouflage pants, and so we started. So Dennis nicknamed him the I think correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, the weaponsmith. He called him, and very very cool. So I was like, I said to him, I was like, we need to do something with these characters.
Yeah,
So what are
that's
you gonna be
awesome.
working on? What are you doing?
Man, I'm actually gonna be redoing my favorite cover, one of my favorite covers.
All right.
Hush from the
Yeah,
Hush
yeah, yeah.
run, Jim Lee. This has always been one of my favorites, and I think the only one that I like better than this one that he did was the variant he done with the flash in the background, where he
Right.
come through and put the rose in Batman's mouth and the one on Superman's ear. I don't know if you ever seen that one. It,
Nah, like I said, I'm so far removed from uh, really catching anything that's real. I mean, I'll come through it here and there and see stuff, but I did see something someone posted. Speaking of the Flash, uh, so I follow couple pages that have like they just show like a character, like a certain character's arc or whatever. Well, they had one where it was I'm assuming it might be recent where the Flash finally had enough of Batman shit, and
yeah.
he told Batman that he could hit him 100 times before he even could mount a defense if he wanted to. Because
Oh
people
wow.
underestimate the Flash.
They
Like
really do.
I think they don't seem to understand. Like I always said, like he's hands down one of the most powerful characters in DC. Because of his connection to the Speed Force and because he can build up kinetic energy and all that. I mean, he's really a people don't give him the credit he deserves. And
Well, I
so
mean,
yeah,
not
he said
only
that the
that, but he can alter the whole damn
he
universe.
could
I mean,
do whatever the hell he wants to do. Right? He's pretty damn
exactly.
powerful. And so he says this to Batman, and Batman literally he had nothing to say about it because what are you going to say? That's not true because you hate to have him prove it. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, he said yeah, so that was pretty cool. I enjoyed seeing that. And there was another one I saw goes back a couple years because I know Superman and Flash always had this annual race that they used to do, right?
Oh yeah.
And there was something where a nuclear bomb was about to set off in a city, and the Flash said he was going to run in and save everyone in the city. And Superman said to him, "There's no way you could do that. You're not fast enough to do that." And man, did the Flash clapped back at him like nobody's business. He said to him, he goes, "You know all those races we've done? I let you win." So,
I think
there's
I
a reason.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he snapped back at Superman, and Superman just sat there with his mouth open. He's like, I let you. He's like, he said to me, he called him Clark. He said, "They're for charity, Clark." I'm paraphrasing, of course. They're for charity,
Right. Right.
Clark. I let you win some. I let you win. So, man,
Wow.
that was great because people, like I said, he has one power, and they always try to say, "Well, Superman's faster." I mean, for Christ's sakes, let the Flash have a power.
Yeah. I mean, Superman
Don't.
does every damn thing else. Let the
Yeah,
Flash have
yeah. I mean,
something.
yeah. So that was I really enjoyed that when he had uh he had said that to him. So I was like, about freaking time. Yeah, he told him how it was.
I
Uh,
hope I
so
can't really see the chat the way I've got my camera angle.
yeah, I could
Be
say it.
sure
We
and
got
watch for me.
yeah, we got We got Chris in here who just says Superman's too OP. We had a Jerry in here who says that yes, in fact, that the Flash is the fastest man alive. And we have Dennis is in here. We have Traveler is in here. Let's see. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. Yeah, because the way I've set up, I can see these.
Yeah.
Uh, as I'm scrolling, I'm shaking the camera. But
I tell
whatever.
you, I got to get one of those little frames you were talking about that you can mount your camera on. I like it.
I
And
have,
it looks
yeah, I
almost
have.
like a mic mount.
It is. It's the same thing, and I think I use the same
Okay.
screw. It's the kind of screw that you would screw into the bottom of like a digital camera or something.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of screw mount like that. And I also have right now this is what I'm on now is uh this is actually like one of those bendy claw arms. Has a claw on it. You put the phone in it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I have that mounted to my art desk, and it's just like literally hanging over here on my face. So
Gotcha.
trying to, so I keep moving back and forth so I can see. Yeah. So I
Completely
got
understand.
Dennis. Right now, I'm putting up the touches on Dennis's favorite gang member. So Dennis really
Tell you
likes this
what,
guy.
while we got Dennis in here, I want to get your take on this. We did the last live we did.
Hmm.
D and Dennis jumped on with me and Dan. Okay,
Yeah.
want your thoughts on this? Uh,
Hmm.
gr- uh, better action movie, Con Air or The Rock?
I like The Rock.
Thank
I'm a
you.
big fan of The Rock, only because I know that they haven't admitted it, but that Sean Connery was supposedly James Bond in that. If you ever read that movie connections that they have, because he said he worked for the British Secret Service,
You
and
know, I never put that together, and
yeah,
I
there's
feel
actually
like a total jackass right now.
a whole thing online about it, and I did, I just and once you read it, and then he was incarcerated for doing a rogue mission or something.
I mean, it makes
So
perfect
yeah,
sense.
yeah, and he was a real badass in that movie too,
Oh God, yeah.
because he's Bond. I mean, at the end of the day, he's Bond. So,
Oh yeah,
but
he's. I
yeah,
mean,
so
there's been a lot of good Bonds, but he will always be the Bond in my book.
oh, he's always been my favorite. I always thought they would have made. Jerry says Con Air because Jerry likes he likes mullets. But yeah,
Everybody's got
he
to
did
like
have a
something, I guess.
yeah he did have a glorious mullet in that dog. I'll give him that. So, but yeah, that movie was cool. And as for Sean Connery, yeah, I agree. He was my favorite Bond. I did always think that they should have made a Bond movie where he was an older Bond, like he came out of retirement. And I know Never Say Never, I think, was kind of
Yeah,
based
that
on
was
something
kind of
similar.
yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted one where he was like legit older Sean Connery. You know what I mean? Like that
Like,
would
yeah, kind of like about the
that would
time he did The Rock, he could have come back and did a
yeah.
Bond.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. I thought that would have been legit
I would have
epic.
watched the shit out of that.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
have him have all the old guy trappings, you know what I mean? Like he could make all these comments about arthritis, all that kind of stuff.
Oh
All
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it would have been cool. I would have enjoyed that, but then they didn't do it. But now
Yeah, man.
my second favorite Bond was actually I mean, I've seen most of Roger Moore. Roger Moore, he was okay. He wasn't great to me. I thoroughly liked I thoroughly thought well, obviously Daniel Craig is great. He's
Oh
a
yeah.
great Bond. He's an epic Bond. But Timothy Dalton was highly underrated as a Bond.
He really was. He's
He
highly
was a good one.
underrated as an actor, period, man. I
Oh yeah.
like him.
He's in one of my all-time favorite movies, Flash Gordon. I love that
Yep.
damn movie.
Yep. That's a good one.
Uh, Speaking of things that don't taste themselves serious, like that's a perfect example. That movie knew what it was, and it was
Oh
campy as
yeah.
hell, and I loved every second of it for it.
Yep.
But
They just
oh,
don't
he
do
said he
stuff like that anymore, man.
no. Chris says Sean Connery quit making movies because of that gentleman superhero movie, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That wasn't a terrible movie. It wasn't a great movie. It was just a popcorn flick. I didn't
Yeah.
dislike it because it brought back a lot of characters that, like, if you grew up reading like novels and stuff like that, you had everyone, Dr. Jekyll Miss Hyde, like people know that. Uh, people know, like a lot of people, if you don't really follow the Dracula stuff, like Nina Harkness is somebody you don't necessarily have to be familiar with. And
Right.
then their Captain Nemo was kind of over the top, but where's what it was. Pierce Brosnan was a great. He was also an excellent Bond,
Yeah,
and
well,
but they had Dorian Gray. Like if you didn't read like classic Victorian novels, like
literature,
Dorian
yeah, you
Gray,
wouldn't have a
yeah,
clue about Dorian Gray.
no, you have no idea who Dorian Gray is, and I thought that was really cool that he was included. I know it was based off a comic, but I thought that was epic that they included him in there. And it was good. Like I
Uh,
said, it was.
Talking
I
about
did
Dorian
know.
Gray, did you ever watch the series Penny Dreadful? If you haven't watched
I
that,
have.
you need
I
to
love
check.
that freaking
I
show.
loved it, man.
Ah,
That
yeah,
that's one of the best ones I've seen in a good while, man.
man. The last season was a little bit of a letdown because they kind of rushed it.
I didn't
You
watch
know.
the last season, but I loved
Yeah, you
the
do.
first few.
The first season. Oh, me too. Me too. And it was definitely one of my favorite shows. Because I love all that stuff. I like just like you. Like obviously you're drawing Victorian stuff. Like I love all Victorian monsters and Frankenstein's monster, Dracula. Especially when you start introducing all of them into a show. It's pretty awesome that you
Oh God, yeah.
kind of get to. I'm sorry, I'm drawing over here. It doesn't look like I'm just blowing in my mouth. I'm trying to. These are three panels that are similar. There's conversations here, and so I'm trying to get them lined up so they are similar but different. So right now I'm putting in Dan Banna's really epic flat top that he's got.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah, he's literally ripped right out of the '90s. This guy, he's
dude.
every
Till
guy
I
I went to
was
high
in,
school.
yeah. Well, I tell you, I was one of those guys every summer up till I was probably in my late 20s. I had a kind of a modified flat top
Yeah.
during the summer every year.
Well, you see, if you look closely on Dan, he's got lightning bolts shaved in the side of his head. Like he is every bit 1990s.
That's
We put
awesome.
lightning bolt. Yeah, I put lightning
Hey,
bolts
tell me
on him.
something. Did you do the lines and did you do the
Oh
lines and the
yeah,
eyebrows and all that?
I didn't do the eyebrows, but I had the lightning bolts once, and then I had my
Oh wow.
hair. It was shaved down the side, and I had at the time. I think I was God, what was I? Junior in high school, maybe a sophomore. I don't remember, but I had like the rat tail.
Oh
That
wow.
bullshit. Yeah, I had that thing
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never did the rat tail,
Couldn't
but
imagine
yeah,
why the girls wouldn't talk to me.
I definitely had the lines though. Yeah.
Yeah, the lines. I had like lightning bolts, and then I had ones that ran all the way back, and yeah. Then Batman '89 was out, so everybody's getting that shaved in
Oh
their
wow.
head.
I always wanted that, and I never could find somebody that could do it right.
Yeah, that's like one of those things. Like you don't want to risk it.
Shit, no,
If
they
it gets
fucked
messed
that
up,
up.
your whole
Woo.
yeah, that shit gets messed up. Your whole hair's messed up. But
Yep. And you gotta wait a long time for that to grow in.
yeah, Chris said he had lines. Yeah, lines are huge. They were they were everything.
They were making a comeback for a little bit.
Oh, everything comes back for real.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everything's.
It
I don't think
always
there's
comes
ever
back around, man.
always. But, so I'm drawing. See, I'm not really happy with Dan's head position here. I just put it in, but the head is good. Like I enjoy it. Like wow, there you go. Yes, the head is good. I enjoy it. We're getting kicked off Instagram now. So, so
Oh
here we go.
God, yeah. I enjoy
Yeah,
head. I
we gotta
mean the
edit.
head. I mean Yeah.
Yeah, the one I'm drawing. That's what I'm talking about. So
Oh
the
God.
the shape here is this was good, and I don't want to have to redraw it, so I'm gonna stick with the way I have this because I was gonna race it up and change it, but I can make it work here. So yeah, it's one of those things like sometimes you get and have you draw something really well and it's just not where you want it.
Oh yeah, I do it
And
all
I'm
the time.
yeah, I mean digitally I could just, cut and paste it. I can move this, I can lasso it, take it out of there, change it. But but unfortunately traditionally I don't have much of a choice. So,
Yeah, man. I did a Daredevil piece. It's been
yeah, I
probably a
saw
week
that.
ago or better.
Yeah, yeah. I
Not
like
the one, not the Frank Miller one, not the Frank Miller
okay. Oh,
homage,
all
but
right, all right.
it was that first one that had a really long torso, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh yeah, this looks effing awesome. And then I went back. No, I got through with the live, and I walked
Hmm.
back in the living room, and
You came
I
back
said,
and looked at it, right?
oh,
Yep.
my wife brought it to my attention. I
Yeah.
said, did
Sometimes
you?
you don't.
I said, did you
Hmm.
see the picture that I did today on the line? I said, I've already posted it. She said, well, hold on just a second. Let me look at it.
Well,
And she's like,
uh-huh.
she says, what is this? I said, are you kidding me? It's Daredevil. I said, you can't tell us. She said, no, what is this? She said, go back and look at this. And I pull it back up, and I'm sitting there looking. She said, you see what I'm talking about, huh? I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely.
That
So,
happens.
yeah,
Like,
she called me out.
because you're in here and you're so invested in the art and you're not stepping back from it. Sometimes
Right.
I won't catch something that needs to be changed until I post it. And I'll happen to be go back and look at it online and I'll see an instant mistake or something that doesn't quite look right. And
Right.
and I'll have to change. Yeah, no, I've done it. Sometimes just walk for me. Sometimes just walking out of the room and coming back and giving it another look helps too.
Yeah, that second look. Yep. And I tell you,
Yeah.
uh, I got to where I was watching a lot of Jim Lee's lives, and I got to noticing
Hmm.
when he gets through with a picture, or hell, while he's even drawing, he'll take it and he'll look at it real close. He'll pull it far away from him.
Hmm.
He'll
Hmm.
kind of turn around and look at it from different angles just to make sure everything's lining up. And I had gotten in the habit of doing that, and I got
I
out of
they
it.
s-
I
they say use the mirror too, right? That's another thing that they're
Yeah.
always talking about,
Mm-hmm.
the mirror thing.
Yep.
And I'm afraid to do that because I probably have to go back and redo everything I draw.
Yeah, you and me both.
And
I
then,
hear you.
yeah, I was like, how about I'm not gonna do that? But I'm drawing my favorite thing, hands, right now. Uh,
Hands don't really bother me. I suck at feet.
well,
Feet is like
it's you
one of
know what?
my big. I've gotten better, but I mean, I still find it very daunting sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I learned a long time ago with feet that it's I try to because that's the thing. Like you started to draw them, and like if you were even mildly influenced by McFarlane, your feet are going to look like triangles. The
Exactly.
toes are going to come up like a triangle, and I got into that habit because I was, again, McFarlane was a pretty big influence, and so you start doing that, and then next thing you know, I mean, it doesn't make sense for like a certain type of footwear. Like it doesn't make sense for boots. It doesn't make sense for uh, you know, like sneakers. It makes sense for like spandex kind of stuff that the
Right.
heroes wear,
Right.
like Spider-Man and stuff like that. But yeah, so I had to break that habit, and I did notice that Liefeld, when he does draw feet, actually does the same thing. Like his Deadpool or whatever, his Snake Eyes has this like triangular foot, and I mean, which is it's cool and all, but yeah, I got away from that. I really got into that. I was doing the same thing. So feet suck. I've gotten really good at drawing military type boots because damn near everybody in this book has them. and damn near everyone in Hunter's Moon, with the exception of the Wolfman and the Convictor. Dracula you saw for a hot minute, but the Convictor and the Wolfman, everybody else was wearing these type of boots. Helve was wearing them, his mercenaries wearing them. So I made a conscious effort to get really good at drawing those particular boots because all the gang members in this book have those type of boots, like Doc Martin military type boots.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm really anxious to get a hold of those books, man.
I am
Because
really anxious
I
to
went
finish
back
it.
and ordered. No, I
So,
went back. I did the catch up where I could get Hunter's
yeah.
Moon because I
Mhm.
missed it. So yeah, I'm ready to sit down and just geek out over both of those,
Yeah, that's what I try to
Resurgence
say. Like the
and the
digital for
Hunter's Moon.
Hunter's Moon. Yeah, thank you. The digital for Hunter's Moon was good. The digitals are great. I personally like holding the comic in my hand. That's just my thing.
Oh God, yeah.
I
I
don't. I
gotta
don't
have. I gotta
usually.
have. I gotta have the physical copy.
Yeah, well, much to my wife's chagrin, that's how I do all my Kickstarters I support. They're all physical books, and now I have literally an entire. It's off to the side here, but I have an entire standing shelf that has like one bin is all Savage Sandbox books.
Oh
The other
wow.
bin is the rest. There's like four bins, and the other one's like all everybody support, like all indie books. And yo, Dano. So it's like it's packed, and I've yet to really. I would love to spend a day to get down there and actually read them all. And it's just you
Tell
know
me
how it
about
is.
it. There's
Yeah,
never. There's not enough hours in the day, brother.
nope, nope, definitely not.
Especially when you're trying to produce, draw and produce a book. People,
Yeah.
they don't know.
Well, I
They have no idea what we put into it. They really
well, I
don't.
had somebody send me a thing like, "Hey, are you able to do this? Are you able to do that?" I mean, can you read this for me? Can you do that? I'm like, I don't really have. I get those regularly, and I'm like, I don't. And I try not to be. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I said, I'm literally in the middle of doing a book here. I don't really have the time to do that, much less sit down and read books, for enjoyment.
Right.
And yeah, it's daunting sometimes because you just want to get the book done. You just want to
Exactly. You
get it
want to
out
get it
there.
out there for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it really comes down to. Like that's my main concern at this point. So sometimes all the stuff I'd like to be doing. Hey, Chris says anyone can do it, right? Some people think anyone can do it.
Yeah,
Some people
man.
really do. They really believe. I'm all for if you believe you can. I thoroughly believe that. But you gotta know limitations and realism, and you gotta be realistic about shit. And some people aren't. Um,
Right.
or it's okay to listen to advice. Some people don't do that either, and they just
Yeah, I
they know it
started.
all.
You were talking about you started getting a lot of messages, people wanting you to read stuff and look at stuff. I've
Hmm.
started getting a lot. Well, do you have
Yeah.
any pointers on the business or, well, not really the business, but doing your own book? And I'm like,
Yeah.
practice, practice, practice. I mean,
People don't want to
and
hear it. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it.
I mean, you got to put the time in, man. That's just
Yeah.
all there is
Pe-
to it.
People literally don't want to hear that you have to spend time to do something, to learn something, because unfortunately, especially these newer kids that are getting into, sorry, I'm adjusting here, getting into the comics and stuff like that. These newer kids, you're coming from this generation where everything's instant satisfaction. You know what I mean? You open up your
Oh yeah,
phone, you immediately go right to what you want. You can go watch whatever you want online. I mean, just it's all instant. And what ends up happening, uh, yeah, Dan says it comes easy to us, right? Oh yeah, totally easy. I have a pile of
oh yeah.
destroyed boards laying next to me. That's how easy it is.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that.
Yeah. No. I don't. I mean, it takes a lot for me to destroy an entire board because it sucks because when you're doing it and you have like all these great panels, and then one you just completely destroy and it's not, you can't save it. So I became very good at cutting the panels out that I like, and pasting them onto a new board. So
Dude,
that comes in
that's
handy.
how Frank Miller works.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
because I have to scan it anyway, and it's got to go for digital colors anyway. So
exactly. I mean,
it's
you ever get a chance? I can't remember where I seen it, but I think it was somewhere on YouTube. I'm a big Miller guy anyway, and
hmm
I was watching him do some stuff, and I mean, he'll literally do it on like art paper. He'll do it on anything, and then he'll come back and glue it to the board.
Yep. hmm
I mean, crazy. I never
Sometimes
had thought
because
about that.
yeah, yeah. So I did not in this book so far, but in Hunter's Moon, I did. I had a couple panels that I sketched out. 'Cause I always sketch these out. Uh, like here, I'll use this example. Like I sketch these out, I rough, like most guys, thumbnail these, rough
Yeah,
sketch these things out, right? And one time I rough sketch, and I just was spending time filling in the rough sketch to the point where I got it. It was perfect as a rough, and I
yeah.
didn't want to try to recreate it, so I lightboxed it. I literally took it and I put it on a light box and literally transferred it right over to the board. Because sometimes I'll draw it and just try to freehand it while looking at it. But oh, what's up, Sleek?
I
And
tell you, I've gotten to the point. You mentioned that. I've gotten to the point where in my digital work with the book,
mhm,
I don't do pencils and inks. I'll
right.
go ahead and just do straight ink to to speed up the
Oh yeah, I
process.
don't do I mean I might do because right now I'm very big on using the blue pencil, especially for the
Yeah,
boards because
yeah,
it really helps. Yeah, because if I don't do it and I'll do it with a pencil, I can end up really putting some permanent lines on the board that my colorist is going to have to he's gonna have to clean up, more than I could. I mean, I'll erase them as I can, but there's some you just can't get out. Obviously, you know that.
right.
So what I ended up doing was I started using the blue because the blue helps. It just gives you an idea. It just gives me a general guideline of what I want to do, and then I can go over with the pencils. But yeah, when I have drawn digitally, I pretty much just use. I think I use the G pen,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Yep. I
I use
I
that
use the
or the
shit
3H
out of the
pen.
G pen.
Yeah, the G pen's like. Do you use the real G pen or the other one? Because it has the real
The,
setting.
yeah, I use a real G pen.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the G pen's cool. So
You can't
like I'll
beat it.
use that. Now I usually end up using that, and I don't usually do pencils. Like I said, I might blue line it. I might toss some blue lines down on a layer,
Right.
and but not always.
I mean,
Right now,
because at the end of the day, it's all about speed. Any way you can.
oh my God, tell me about it. That and wish I had like 15 fingers.
Oh,
So
no doubt. No
if I had
doubt.
15 fingers, you'd call me Dusty Dinkelman. Anybody get that reference? Let me know. So
Oh, wow.
it's like, yeah, 15 fingers. That's one of my favorite movies. Ryan Reynolds and Just Friends.
Yep.
Have you ever
Yep.
seen it? It's an underrated Christmas movie. It's actually a Christmas movie. A lot of people don't realize it,
Man,
but
I love that movie.
yeah, that's Dusty Dinkelman. They made a reference about Jersey in that. They're like, he's Dusty Dinkelman. He's Jersey. He skis in his jeans. I almost choked to death because that is. Listen, we have some, there's some places here in Jersey where you can ski and snow tube up North Jersey, Northwest Jersey, and I could tell you that skis in his jeans is whoever wrote that script literally has been to Jersey before because
They nailed
it's
it,
so
huh?
damn accurate. So Chris says he just prays and the poof, the page is done. There you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah. He's definitely going to have to show me that trick.
No. All
So
right,
while
so
we're
I'm
talking
putting
about
it.
traditional work, what kind of pencil do you prefer with your traditional
Uh,
stuff?
I use an HB, HB
Okay.
lead. Right here, I use the what's this, Steedler, and Okay, yeah, it was a Steeler. It got worn off. But yeah, I use this with, and I HB lead because what HB gives me is it's a little less permanent because I have different options with the HB. I can put in a hard, I can put in a hard line with it, right?
Right.
Or I can just do some, I can just do some shading, light. And I just prefer the lead. It is dusty as hell. It does.
Oh,
Speaking
tell
of
me
dusty,
about.
it does.
Hey, take a
Yeah,
look at this.
yeah, yep,
And I prefer the point .5. I use the
yeah. Oh yeah,
Steeler Intel too.
this is a what the hell is this? I'll tell you right now with the lid. I bought so many when I first took into this. I got into doing this. I bought a shit out of everything I needed, and I had so I wouldn't have to go back and replace buying it. And what the hell is the lid I had? So I could tell you exactly. Oh, it's a. I think they're 20 millimeters. 2H. Yeah, they're 2 point. They're 2 millimeters, so 2 point. So I like it. It's just I like the feel of these pens. I have a bunch of them.
Yeah, me too. Just in case I lose it, I got a backup. Actually,
Oh
I've
my
got
God,
quite a
yeah.
few backups because there's nothing worse, man, when you're looking for your shit. You know you put it there, but it's gone.
Yep. Well, I'm sure I know you got one where you're at. Hobby Lobby is the devil. So
Yeah,
you go to
that
Hobby
and Michaels.
Lobby. Yeah, yep. And I'll like my wife will say, "We're going to Hobby Lobby." I'm like, "Okay," and then I know it's going to be an expensive day because she freaking loves Hobby Lobby.
My wife's the
So
same,
I
man.
go, yeah. So I go there, and yeah, it gets. They got coupons for days. As a matter of fact, this board I'm drawing on, I bought a bunch of them at Hobby Lobby. These are the Strathmores blue lines, and
Yeah, that's where I
yeah,
got these. This
yep,
Strathmore, Hobby
yeah,
Lobby guy,
Strathmore.
man.
The first few pages of Resurgence. I was using Canson's, and man, I effing hate the Canson paper.
I
Like this is
I
Canson right
always
here.
did.
These are these. It's kind of an off white, right? But it's this Canson
Hmm.
comic book paper. This paper sucks ass. It literally like it holds the lead, and you can't erase if you're going to ink. You can't erase half the time. You can't get the blue line out of it. You can't get regular pencil line,
It's
and
it's it's bad about smearing too, or it was with me.
it's bad. It's bad about smearing, and it's also bad about wearing down if you really have to erase the shit out of something. Yeah, it's just because it's more fibrous. It's not really plate smooth like the Canson's smooth. This is not that smooth. It has a more of a sketchbook uh, texture to it, and more like a multimedia texture, and I don't like it. Because I was using Eon boards for most of Hunter's Moon. I bought boards from Eon. I think they're the 100 plate smooth or whatever they were. I used those, but Eon boards are freaking expensive. They're nice, and because they're super bright white and everything. But then I found these Strathmores, and these Strathmores are excellent. These are really
And
very comparable, believe it or not, to the Eon boards I was using. The Eons are a little more whiter, but other than that, the texture alone and having to, it can take an erasing without destroying it. And yeah, definitely recommend the Strathmores. It's the Strathmore comic book. What's it called? The Strathmore Bristol. I got the pad right here. It's this one, if you could see it. It's got this super girl and this robot in the front. It's a Strathmore smooth, lined for pages, and I think it's 100 pound weight. Yeah, it's
yeah,
200
it's the 100.
it's 200 bristle. Yeah, this is it's great paper. There you go, Hobby Lobby right there.
Yeah,
Boom.
me and you are using the
So,
exact same paper.
yeah, I once I found I liked it, I bought a crap ton of it. I have like a stack of it over there on the other side of my desk.
Yeah, because our Hobby Lobby, I mean, they're pretty good about staying in stock, but they don't get a lot of it at one time. So when I
Yeah,
go in
no, they
there,
don't.
and I'll
But
buy 3 or 4 of these at a time.
it's probably because people like us go there and buy 3 or 4 of them at a time.
Probably
So that's the
assholes
problem.
like us.
Yeah, these guys, the stupid artists, real artists. These guys are gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, what a bunch of jerks. But
Yeah. And all these kids are saying, well, I mean, damn, why are they still using paper? Are they cavemen?
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
I just,
I'm
I love the
no,
feel of
yeah.
it. I love the
Oh, me
feel of
too.
it.
I complain about the dust that gets on it because when I really get going, it gets. I mean, I'm wearing this little digital glove I got because it helps with some of the smudging with the dust. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just like looking. Like I said, I really wish I could show that picture I drew yesterday. It's so important. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, shoot it to me.
I'll
I'd
DM it to you.
love to see it, man.
It's my most favorite Convictor picture that I've drawn in recent memory,
That's awesome.
and so yeah, it just clicked. It all clicked for me, and it has that dust on it from the thing. I don't know. I have one of these. Like I have this. Anybody ever see? Anybody use these sawdust
I have
bags?
I have never used one of those.
They are more fucking pain in the worth because what you're supposed to do is you lay your desk flat and you cover it. Once you're done with your picture, you cover it with the sawdust, right? You powder. It's a powder that you pat to go out, and what it does is it tracks the graphite from your
Okay.
pencil. And then what you do from then is it takes all up, and then you supposedly have less dust on your thing. Now that being said, one thing it does do is get all over the damn place. So I just use it when I sharpen my pencil. Here, when I sharpen this, it gets, I just wipe it off on it so it doesn't get any dust on it. But yeah,
All right. Hey,
all the tricks of the
that's the
trade.
thing. Yeah, that's the thing I love about this point five, man. You don't have to sharpen it. I
We,
mean, period.
did we just become best friends? It's, yeah, because I got a point five right here too. So right next to it.
Yeah,
But yeah, but
I
it's
love it, man.
right in my rotation. Yeah. So now I'm drawing obviously the mask, the Convictor's mask.
What was your biggest inspiration for the match? Well, I got you.
Uh,
I didn't think to ask you last night.
my biggest inspiration, well, I have a couple, I guess. My mother was an artist. She drew a
That's
lot,
really cool.
and she was very artistic. So she was always drawing me stuff as a little kid, and like she'd make me cards and all that kind of stuff. So like, you know, there's that. Just and I think to get into this, like I grew up in the '70s, so everything's like I loved it all. There was 70 people talk a lot of shit in the '70s, '80s were way better than anything you're finding right now, uh,
Oh
on
God,
TV. And the toys are better, and just there was just better things. And
the '80s were
so a
fucking
lot of my
awesome. Toys.
yeah, so a lot of my inspiration came from just immersion in that stuff. And it's just one of those things where just realize I'm getting books. Well, hold on. So I'm just reading some of the things there. So a lot of it is my immersion in stuff like that. And I'm reading what Scooter wrote. Sometimes his chat gets going. He just realized he's getting books from nearly everyone in this room. I
Yeah.
appreciate your support, that's for sure. Uh, yeah, so it's my immersion. I saw it, and then I think having that outside stimulation and also just have a mind where your wheels are always turning, you know? I
Right.
think that says a lot about creators. Like, if you want to develop stuff, I mean, your imagination's got to be wild. Like
Oh yeah.
my kid right my kid right now, she's 11, and she creates characters and stuff I would have never thought of because they have that child mind. When you get older, you kind of lose that, and you got to fight to
You
keep
lose
it.
a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to try to fight to keep it. And so I think my biggest influence is originally it was just I love comics and I love, Super Friends and all that kind of stuff. And I was drawing weird shit when I was a kid.
Oh,
I
you
was
and me
very big in
both,
it.
dude.
Yeah, I was very big in it. Jaws was a huge impact. So I was always drawing big sharks and shit. And then I end up having uh Star Wars, Buck Rogers, all that stuff. Like all that shit really had a
Oh,
profound impact on me, like most of us. Battlestar Galactica, like I loved that show, loved it, and
yeah.
the original one, the '70s one, and Buck
Mm-hmm.
Rogers,
Ah, that's
because
yeah.
because you had Wilma. We didn't love Wilma. That was my first TV. Her and Linda Carter, my first TV crushes from Wonder Woman. Um,
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Linda Carter from Wonder Woman back in the day?
nah, man, that was a great show. But
It
I,
was.
I tried telling my daughter, we were watching the, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Gal Gadot. She is a knockout. But we were watching this with my kid, and I was like, I said, she did something where she spun around. I'm like, yeah, that's how Wonder Woman transforms. She spins around. My kid looked at me like there was something wrong with me. I'm like, no, man. I got right up and I did it and I showed it to her. I'm like, you got to spin around. He's like, yeah, you got to sing Wonder Woman. You got to do the whole bit. My kid's like,
Yeah.
of course I embarrassed her. So, that's how it
Yeah, she's
happens.
like, have you lost your mind, Dad?
Yeah, yeah, they're at that age now where everything's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, I
But,
know all about it. I went through with both of mine.
yep. Comic book wise, though, influence, like, I think I've really enjoyed, like, West Coast Avengers. Like, that was a major, because I like Moon Knight. Moon Knight's now Moon Knight's super trendy, but I've dressed up as Moon Knight in middle school. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like for
wow.
Halloween, like my mom made me a cloak, and like Moon Knight's always been my favorite. And
That's badass.
so, yeah, he's literally that's my guy. He's my Batman. But
I know you've seen the trailer then. You got to be psyched for
I
the show.
have, yeah, I have. Yep, yeah. I don't, as a purist, I'm like, I don't know if I dig the mask, but maybe it'll grow on me. But I did see him jump from roof to roof, so he's got to be using some kind of enhanced ability. So he must get some kind of enhancements from the moon. They might be pulling that kind of run like they used to, because there was a certain point where if the moon phase would increase his strength and his abilities.
I remember that. Yeah, I tell
Yeah,
you, from the we were talking about it in the live the other night. Just looking at the trailer, man, it's like they're going off of several different
yeah.
historic
Well, that's
runs,
what you got to
and
do.
they're putting them
At
all
least,
together.
yeah. At least they're getting that, because I don't think DC quite grasps that. DC is always reinventing
No,
their shit, and then they try to make a movie, and it's just a hot mess. Uh, but
that's one thing that Marvel's got over DC. They got Kevin Feige, man, and I mean,
yeah,
he takes what worked for the comics that we loved back in the day and brings the essence of that to the movies. That's why I love the movies so much because it reminds me of the comics we grew up with.
yeah, it's true. And like DC is, yeah, I said they're always trying to change shit, and I get it. You're trying to find what works. I mean, I get it, but it's like one of those things where I don't know. Yeah, find something, stick with it. Instead of trying to reboot it, make that property work.
Yeah.
Just reworking it. I mean, you can't. You have 75 Batmen. You have, what I mean. At least I
What
don't know.
kills me is them changing the character. Like they'll, want to rewrite his history. I mean, create a new fucking character and build that one from the
Yeah,
ground up. Leave
yeah,
leave the
yeah,
original alone.
yeah.
That's what drives me insane.
Yep. But they always gotta, they're always gonna mess with stuff. And sorry, I'm turning this sideways. I have to get in here. I gotta put an eyeball on Brovet. So
But
yeah,
yeah,
clean
I'm
that up.
I'm super stoked for Moon Knight. It
Yeah, I
looks
was
like
like I
a
said, West Coast.
looks like a thriller, man, like a horror
Oh my
thriller.
God, it looks intense. They better have a damn werewolf in it too. You're gonna lose a lot of your core fans because you don't know where Moon Knight comes from. Can't do Moon Knight without Werewolf by Night.
Exactly. And I haven't seen it announced officially, but I've heard rumors that Marvel is planning on doing a Werewolf by Night series.
Now that's what I used to like about the MCU movies. Like they attempt to ground them in some type of reality,
Yeah,
but as much as you can when you have a character like the Hulk and all
right.
that. And now you're like, hey guys, let's have a werewolf. Yeah, it makes sense.
Exactly. Well, I mean, they're bringing
Now,
in Blade and everything. Why not?
yeah, I mean, if Blade's there, it was. Well, I think I just read somewhere that in Thor Ragnarok they made vampires canon because when Korg was talking, he mentioned vampires when he was
Yeah,
speaking
that's
to
right. I
Thor.
forgot
So
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, and they said that that makes it canon because how else would this being from outer space, know about vampires if it didn't exist? So there's your Blade connection anyway, at least in the sense that vampires exist in this world. Yeah, it's gonna be good. The guy they picked for Blade, I mean, Wesley Snipes is great. He is the perfect replacement. Uh,
Oh yeah,
he is
he looks a
he
lot like
literally
Wesley.
he looks exactly like him, and that's pretty awesome.
What is it? Marsala Ali? Isn't that his
Yeah,
name?
Marshall. Yep, yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, I definitely know it's Ali. I think it's Marshall. He was great in the first season of Luke Cage. Like Luke Cage is one of those, you to get off the subject. People say, why can't we include these Netflix movies as part of the MCU? And granted, I think they should have been, at least certainly like Daredevil. Um, and I know that it's kind of like they're kind of retconning that, but you have like Luke Cage was good. I like Luke Cage, but I
Yeah.
couldn't take any of the villain. I couldn't take the villain. Like Diamondback looked like an asshole. Like I'm supposed to take him. I'm supposed to
Oh,
take
is
that
that
guy
what
serious. His
was
eye.
that? Hey, was that your inspiration for Duke? Is that just
Yeah,
throwing an ass
yeah,
up?
yeah. And Duke is inspired by every person I couldn't stand in high school. I think, but
Oh,
yeah. So no, but Diamondback, he had this suit, and it literally looked like it walked off a television movie. You know what I mean? Like those, it was just so bad. And you're supposed to say this is connected to the MCU. I mean, put a little money into the suit, for God's sakes. And
yeah, they
now
didn't
that
give those
said,
guys a whole lot of budget.
no, but the second season of Luke Cage, they introduced Cottonmouth, and he was a badass villain. He didn't have any stupid suit. He just had similar powers to Luke Cage, and like that was cool. But it's
Yeah,
like the people want him connected to the MCU, but it's hard to do that when it's kind of a hot mess. And they tried to connect them as best they could, but now they're trying to make good on that. They're bringing like Charlie Cox made his way back, Kingpin made their way back. Whether there's any connection to the actual Netflix shows other than just being the same actors, I don't know. But
no, they said it's all canon. They're keeping all the history from the series.
yeah, yeah, good because
I
now
would tell
my
you
thing
some
is,
stuff, but I'm not going to spoil you because you hadn't watched Hawkeye
yeah, yeah, no. So I know, and I know we need the Punisher. I mean, John Bernthal is a fantastic Punisher,
yet. He was. I liked
but
Thomas
who knows?
Jane too, though.
Oh, Thomas Jane was good, but you know what? Dolph Lundgren. Okay, he played. He was Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher, but it's okay. Uh, Thomas
Yeah,
Jane was an underrated Punisher, and I actually Punisher Warzone. Not so much. Ray Stevens is a great. I love him as an actor. Uh, Not so much. What I liked in that Punisher Warzone movie was the brutality of that Punisher. Like before the
yeah,
Punisher Netflix series came, that was the only iteration of how brutal the Punisher truly is.
yeah.
He
You're
literally
right.
shot that guy. That guy was tied up in the kitchen. He shot him in the face with the shotgun because he was a criminal. I'm like, that's the Punisher. And
That is definitely the Punisher, and John Bernthal
yeah,
nailed it.
oh man, he especially as anybody that makes a living off of you know makes a living carrying a firearm or done any kind of that. Like he was so good in that. His run and gun was it was whoever his technical advisor was for the show and whoever taught, he
They knew
was
what they were
excellent.
doing.
They absolutely knew what they were doing. And it was just like from a guy who, does similar shit like that, like, and has been trained in shit like that, like that really that grabbed me on that show. And
Right.
and just and how the and I like when the actors, you can tell when the actors like take it serious. Like Keanu Reeves is a perfect example of that as well. When they
Yeah.
they want to do and they want to learn, they don't want to stunt double. They want to get
They
in
want
there,
to
they
be
want to
right
learn
in
new
the
stuff.
heat of it.
Yeah, right. And so yeah, you gotta love that.
Oh, yeah.
But John Berthon he's an excellent puncher. I like as soon as I like him as Shane. Like Shane was one of my favorite characters on Walking Dead. Because Shane was
I got a hot take for you. I have not watched the first episode of that show.
you're better. Yeah, he ran off the tracks. You're better off. You ain't missing anything now. But sometimes these shows go on too long. But Shane in the show, he's Shane. Berthon played Shane, who was kind of like he was like an anti-hero. He was kind of the antagonist later on
Right.
to Rick, the main character, and he uh he was real though. He just did shit that a real person would do in that show, and you got to respect the guy for it. And so when they picked him as, oh, I didn't really have any opinion on it when they picked him for the Punisher, but man, he was. If you've grown up with Punisher comics like most of us have, you watched that and you knew that guy's the Punisher. Like there was
Yep.
no doubt. And he,
First episode. Well, the first time he popped up in Daredevil season 2, I was like, "Oh my god, they
uh,
finally got it right.
yep,
They nailed it."
yep, yeah, they did. Or how about when he, I mean, granted the Jigsaw wasn't not quite the Jigsaw we all really wanted, but man, when he
Still
finally got
good,
his
man.
hands on him at that last episode, I felt every inch of that. They made
Yeah.
that so brutal, where he just ran his face down that freaking glass. I was like, Jesus Christ. So,
Yeah,
that
they didn't
was
hold anything back with that series. They really
no,
didn't.
hell no. And this Punisher was like, if you were shot and on the ground, he made sure you were incapacitated. Yeah, he made sure he killed you. And that
Yeah,
prison
you
fight
get double
scene,
tap,
that
headshot.
yeah. In the industry, we call that it's called has a couple names. It's called a security round,
Right.
right? Like if you take down a combatant, and as you move past that combatant, you don't want them getting back up
Right.
and then
You don't
becoming
want to get shot in the back.
yeah, you don't be a combatant. So what they do is they're called it's called a security round, or my favorite thing is they call it an anchor round because you walk by him
Completely
and
understood.
you anchor him literally right to the ground, so
Yeah.
he ain't getting up. And so that's like once I saw that, I'm like, man, hot damn, these guys, whoever's training these guys, get it right. So because he and then he's doing the adrenaline buildup as he's shooting. He's constantly vocalizing, making guttural sounds because that's to keep that adrenaline pumping in a situation like that. So
Right.
yeah, pretty cool.
I haven't
I love
seen
that
him in
show.
a bad role yet, though.
Nah, he's a very underrated actor.
He really is.
He doesn't get the love he really deserves outside of the comic community because he's a pretty damn good actor. And he's opinionated, like most things. I think one of the things that he ended up saying was if they didn't if it's not going to be the Punisher's not going to be R-rated for Disney, he's not interested.
Right.
So
Yeah, I read that too. But I mean, hell, you
and
can't blame him.
yeah, but now I mean, what's Marvel doing now? Literally they're doing something with the Punisher, right? With the skull and all that bullshit. So
Yeah,
there's
I've
that
seen
big
that too.
controversy. There's that controversy now, but everyone's like, "Oh, I can't believe they're changing." I'm like, "They're not changing it permanently. Come on, man. When have you seen something in comics that was permanent?
Ever.
Nothing.
It
Nothing.
always comes back
Nothing.
around.
They do shit to just one drive up sales to get people like all the nerds talking about it, and that's why that stuff happens. They don't do they don't do anything without like people like no one's doing that. Like they're not gonna. It's not permanently going away. It'll be back. Everything
Yeah,
in comics comes back.
I read yesterday that DC's planning on killing every one of the original Justice League but one
Oh, I
member.
know.
And I'm like,
There's
yeah,
a
okay,
surprise.
whatever.
Well, it's DC Comics.
Yeah.
DC Comics is always like everybody always asks me when back, you're younger, like what was your, are you a Marvel or DC guy? Which one do you prefer? Now, I read both as a kid. I leaned way more heavily into Marvel. I didn't really appreciate Superman until I got older as a character because you like like a lot of people say he's too overpowered and blah 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 blah. But when you get older, you realize like okay, but he's also being that overpowered, he's got to literally pull his punches with everybody, right?
Oh,
And
yeah, exactly.
so I appreciated the character when I got older, but I was more of a Marvel guy, and because at least in Marvel, for the most part, people stay dead.
Right.
And like in DC, you die, they're never dead. They're literally never dead. They always come back. I don't know if there's anybody that's been permanently dead in DC ever. Uh, but Marvel, Captain Marvel is still dead, unless they decide to bring him back for like what do they bring him back like the Contest of Champions, the Graveyard Edition or Zombie Edition and shit. But
Right.
but yeah, they you for the most part Marvel, they're dead. They stay dead. And
Unless they're a hot character like Wolverine or
oh,
Jean
Wolverine,
Grey
yeah,
or the
yeah,
Hulk.
yeah. Well, I don't get me started on 80s X-Men. 80s and 90s X-Men. I liked Claremont's run. Like I enjoyed all that, the Morlocks, the Marauders.
Oh, I
I loved
loved it,
all
man.
that,
Loved it.
all that X-Men stuff. I literally, but when they started getting goddamn nutty with their timelines and shit,
Yeah,
it turned me
they
off.
lost me.
I didn't, yeah, want to, wasn't a fan anymore. Uh, and but that's why I gravitated to lesser known books. Like I said, I really enjoyed West Coast Avengers. One because Moon Knight went there, so Moon Knight was on there, and then you had Hawkeye and
Yeah,
Mockingbird and Wonder
Vision,
Man,
Scarlet Witch.
Tiger. Yeah, yeah, the Vision. Yeah, and so it was those. I enjoyed that run of books. I think I have pretty much all of them, honestly.
I'm
Uh,
still trying to go back and get a lot of that run. That
yeah,
mid to late '80s stuff. That was some of my favorite
yeah,
West Coast.
same. Me too. Me too. I just enjoyed all of it and how I don't know. I just like I said, I like Byrne, like like
I love
like I said,
Wonder
like
Man too. A lot of people. That's a
Wonder
very
Man's
underrated character.
yeah. I don't know if he's ever gonna pop up in the MCU. You know what I mean? I'm not.
They've
I
hinted.
mean, it'd be yeah. I mean, you'd have to literally do a uh, a version of are they going to do it where he's the Vision? I know you have the synthetic Vision out there now, the thanks to WandaVision,
Yeah.
but that's out there, and so obviously they brought Vision back. They don't tell you what's in his head though in WandaVision. There was something powering him in his forehead.
Yeah,
They didn't really,
I didn't get all
they
that
didn't,
either.
yeah, they didn't really touch base on what it is, but if they did, I missed it. WandaVision was good. Like I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched Hawkeye. I haven't caught up any of them yet. My kid is bugging me all the time. She wants to watch them. So, because
I love,
I enjoyed
yeah, I loved
WandaVision. It's good.
WandaVision, and I liked Falcon I loved them all. But I got to
Yeah,
be honest, man. Hawkeye hit me in the feels. I just really, there was something about that I really connected to, and it's
yeah.
my favorite.
Oh, I can
I love
imagine.
it.
He, I'm glad that they have these Disney Plus things because they're able to give characters that wouldn't necessarily have had, a movie an opportunity to have, and they're great because they fill in between the movies. Yeah, no, they're really fantastic, and
They can deep
like I
dive,
said,
and you actually find out more about that character than a lot of the ones you did the main guys in the movie.
It's true. No. I love drawing my
I
bro.
really hope, honestly though, I really hope they don't bring Tony Stark back. That's what I'm scared of with this multiverse shit.
Yeah, that's just going to cheapen everything that happened in Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, because I literally shed tears when Tony went down. And
Yeah.
I mean, if they bring him back, dude, I'm done with him. I'm done.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I mean, you would think as an actor, because I think when he speaks and stuff, he talks about the role. He recognized the significance of that moment, especially going all the way back to that shit Captain America said to him in the Avengers about being the guy that lays on the wire.
Exactly.
So there was all a callback. Like that's all cheapened.
Yep. It wipes it all away.
Yeah, it's all. None of it's just. It literally just. It's ruined, and you don't want to do that. And I think him as an actor, I think he recognized that. And I mean, but again, money talks. Money talks. But how much money do you need? You got more money than he's ever going to spend. And
oh God, yeah, more money than his grandkids are going to ever.
Yeah, more exactly. So do you really need it? But yeah, but we'll see what happens. Oh, there's a whole lot of stuff going on in the chat.
Check it out, because like I said, my camera angle, I can't see shit.
Well, they're talking. Sleek is because I knew this. Sleek actually lives where he works, which is pretty awesome. He's a caretaker for a school, and so he actually lives on campus, and it's pretty awesome. He's got a really cool job, and he has his own house and stuff there and so they're telling him. He said he had to get back to work and all busting his balls. But yeah, this looks good, dude. Yeah. So I got these 3 panels I'm trying to get done here. Like I said, I like drawing. This is have a conversation, and then I have got some eyes over here. It's just going to be eyes, obviously. So, and if anybody's ever wondered the height difference, the Convictor and your average person, that'll give you a heads up. So he's about 6'3", 6'3" and a half. So. And of course, Brovet, this guy, he's short. Dan Ban is not too tall, so he actually looks much more taller than he would be. But
I tell you, you're just like me, I think. Do you ever catch yourself when you're doing panel to panel like that, making sure you keep the same?
Yes.
The height, you know what I'm saying? Like if they come up to the nose, they got to come up to the nose in the next panel.
I did it with this one because I said, they're about the same right here. Yeah. And then so when I drew it over here, I wanted to make sure it lined up. And I definitely do the same. Sometimes it'll get away. Sometimes I'll, and then that's the thing. You as an artist, you beat
yourself up over shit like that.
You do, and to the point where nobody else is ever going to notice it, but you notice it, and and because you notice it, you're constantly going to you're going to try to fix it because you notice it.
Exactly.
Nobody else noticed it, but yeah. I use this. I have this crappy ass eraser I'm using. I can't stand it. I use the gum eraser sometimes.
I like these staples.
Yeah. I don't. I have a knockoff one like that, and I wish I knew where it was. I have no idea where it is. But I also use these. Where is it? I use this a lot. Usually when I go to ink, I will, when I'm done inking and I want to clean up the excess graphite, like I'll use this. I'll use the putty first. And I try to pick up some of it. It's
Can I say that again?
Putty? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
These are good because what you do is once you knead them, they're actually called a kneaded
Right?
eraser. When you knead them, it'll clean itself, self-cleaning,
Oh wow.
and yeah, it comes in usually like a little brick, like a little block, and it's just it does a really good job for cleaning up a lot of the graphite.
It's
And
badass.
uh, yeah, and then usually I'll it does great on blue lines too, actually. And then
You,
what I'll end up doing is once I'm done with this, then I'll move into. I actually got these from Hobby Lobby. I don't know what brand they are. It actually broke in half. But this little like I don't know what the hell kind of eraser this. I mean, it's a white plastic eraser, but it's made in Germany,
yeah.
whatever that means. But this one I use. Obviously, you can see I do a lot of my cleanup on my inking with this, and I'm almost out of it. I need to go to Hobby Lobby actually. But so I'll use this, and this takes up the rest of it. Sometimes you can't get all the lines. It happens, and but that's when your colorist comes to the rescue. But
See, I don't get
yes,
to do that, Jason. That's what you're forgetting.
yeah.
I just I'm like, hey Jerry, you got to take care of that. I just get to throw it in my lap.
Well, I do
So
whatever I can so I don't have to get him to do it. And a lot of times,
right,
believe it or not, Chris, if he's still in here, Chris has taken care of things for me too. Even though Chris does the lettering, he'll see something
yeah,
and
yeah,
he'll correct it. There was something that on Hunter's Moon. There was a part I don't know what happened. It was a borderless panel and it had the Wolfman, and there was a part that was missing towards the bottom of the panel here, where it was just
okay,
white right in the middle of his leg. I don't know how the coloring got missed, or it was a layer that don't know what happened.
right,
And I said to Chris, I'm like, I just saw it, and we were getting ready to send the book to print, and I said, you have it. I mean, Chris is obviously super. Chris is a digital artist, so
yeah,
I said, can you do something with that? And yeah, he went in, he color matched it, drew in the rest of the leg on it, and so he got no artist credits on the book though. So
well, he's getting
no,
credit now.
well, I did give him, I put listed him as in the interior of the book. I listed him as the letterer and layouts guy because Chris is, he did a lot of he created the PDF for it and all that kind of stuff. That was all Chris's hard work.
Uh,
Um, because if you ask me to create a PDF, I I'm a little lost, even though I know I can transfer it to Clip Studio, and I know. But it's just Chris claimed it's easy for him to do it because he's already right there, and lettering's the last thing that's getting done. So once it's good, it's easier for him to generate the PDF on his end. So that's kind of what we do. It's
I
kind of our
got you.
method. But yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. Do
So I
you
asked,
think?
go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, I'm trying to catch up on all this awesome stuff in here. Man, there are like whole conversations going on in here.
What are they talking about? I
I'm
apologize,
trying to see.
guys, that I can't see the chat, but I wanted to get the angle where you guys could see what I was actually doing. So
Yeah,
I
D's
apologize.
in
Don't think I'm
here.
a
We got
dick.
D. We got D. So yeah, they're talking about Hawkeye and stuff like that. So I think we're good. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like it really is when you're set up like this, it's really hard to say.
And the way I've got mine, it's not automatically scrolling on my phone either because the angle I've
Oh
got it
yeah,
at.
right,
So
right.
I'm totally
Yeah, I
blind to the
got you.
chat. But but Hawkeye, man, it was really good. God, it was good.
All right. Let's see. Now I got to draw this guy's head again. I can't wait to get out of this panel though. Like trying to draw something similar for each panel. But again,
Yeah,
if I was a digital artist, it would be no problem. You know what I mean? But I could just copy and paste and drop it. But I'm not. So there's actually some pages in Hunter's Moon where it was the exact same image of the Convictor. Like I think when he was getting his head smashed into the brick wall, and uh, and then So it was the same thing, and then the next panel, his eyes open, so he just, he came back to try to give a little bit, he's got that thing where you can beat the S out of him and he can take it.
Yeah.
Uh, so at least for a little while, and so you
Right.
had that. So what I did is I drew one panel, and then I copied it on a piece of paper, just the shape of it, and then I went and transferred it with a light box on the next exact panel, so I could have a very looking, similar looking page. It's all these little tricks, Yeah,
Oh
these
yeah.
traditional
Yeah,
artists.
dude. And I mean, different things work for different people, but everybody's got their own little way of doing stuff that really, you get in that groove and it works for you and it speeds your work up because at the end of the day, it's all about speed, man. Cranking this shit out.
Yeah, yes, sir. So, so I got these guys. Now I got to do some surprise faces. Dan Ban is kind of easy to do surprise. It's all going to be eyes for him. So, yeah, he's gonna get the eyes,
I love
surprised
that name.
eyes.
Dan Banner. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. All my characters have their names are all like either they're something I've always called them or a stupid reference to a play on something. Obviously, he wears a bandana, so his name is Dan
Right.
Banner. It's always been that way.
Badass.
So Jerry wants to know if you are drawing Superman, and yes, you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Some of you guys weren't in here. This is my reference right here, guys. I'm a big Jim Lee fan going back, and I've always wanted to do this. So, yeah, just jumping in, trying to tackle Lee, man.
There you go. That's what I say. A lot of times I will use this blue pencil to get things like eyes and stuff because that's one thing when you like traditionally like you try and draw in tight with these, and if you don't get them right, you're just it's going to be a muddled mess in there.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the blue pencil gives me a little bit of a shape. So now I mean it's hard for anybody to say, I'm sure, but it gives it gives me, oh, let that focus. See, I got now a blue line. Give me a shape where I can pencil in his eyes now and
Right.
give him whatever. And that's where I'll use the point 0.5. I'll use that for something like that.
Come in with
Because a lot of times,
with a really sharp detail.
yeah, because I'll make the mistake sometimes and try to do it with the 2 point, and it just become unless I sharpen the shit out of this and get a really fine point on it,
Yeah.
it'll ruin it. And so I keep forgetting that I have the point 0.5 over here. So that helps me. I'm able to put
Yeah.
in the details.
I used to use 2.0 for years, and back, especially back when I was in high school and everything, when I was dreaming
Yeah.
up all these characters I'm making books about now. And hell, I didn't. I live in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi. I didn't know about this shit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was a game changer for me. This point five, not having to sharpen, being able to get those fine details, or once you can lay it down and get busy with it, and it's super awesome for shading. It's a universal pencil to me. I mean, it works
So
for
I
anything.
yeah, as I got googly eyes, Dan. See, that's the best part about having to look at some close. I got to change. Dan's got some googly eyes. Yeah, I just used the point 0.5, and because of the angle of my desk, I couldn't get in there to really see where I was going to, to get into the angle. So I pulled it up closer so I could see it. I'm like, yep, I got to fix that.
Oh, you didn't give him them true blue eyes, did you? One blue east and one blue west.
No, no, he doesn't get any of them. Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, he's lucky he even comes out of this book with eyes. So, There's a
I
lot of
hear
there's
you.
a lot of shit happens here, so he's lucky he's even gonna have them. But
It sounds like it's gonna be bloody awesome
let's see.
from start to finish.
It's a little it's there you go. That's better. Perfect. All right.
Oh yeah.
There you go, Dan. There you go. Yeah, Dan looks surprised. He looks like somebody stuck a thumb up his ass. That's what he looks like right here. So
Oh,
the Convictor is not, in fact, putting anything up anyone's ass here. It may look like that, but just not what's going on. There's dialogue that's going to be said here that is going to cause the surprised look on the faces because these two idiots to set up the contacts. This is all pitch black in these panels. So, they don't call the Convictor the Ghost Walker for just nothing.
right.
So he is a good little he's a good little shinobi. He's a good ninja. He very much enjoys using using propaganda to his benefit. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
he they think he's a ghost, he's going to play off on that. That's what people think he is. So he will use that to his
He's gonna milk it.
he will use it because it's all about in the name of terror, terrorizing these people that need to be
Well, I
terrorized.
mean, psychological terror is a tactical advantage too. I mean,
Absolutely. And he, like I said, he's a trained ninja warrior, so that is a very big part of the training is that kind of stuff, and so he employs it well. These people want to call him that. It doesn't help that he's also got he also has these abilities where he can manipulate his environment and stuff like that. So he's almost like the ultimate ninja warrior, I guess, in a sense.
yeah.
Even though like I said, he has no idea that he is being completely that he thinks all this is his own doing in the book in the Convictor series. He believes he's in control of everything that's going on, and
Being
but he's
manipulated.
not. He's in a sense, yes. He doesn't really quite understand that sometimes he hears these voices or voice, and he believes it's his own. He just believes it's a subconscious, but it may not be. And
Right.
so he's a real possibility. He is a instrument for somebody else's agenda.
Oh, wow.
So
Now I'm even more intrigued, man.
yeah, well, I this is something I've publicly said this before. If you have Hunter's Moon, you have the digital. There's a
No, I
panel
don't have the
where
digital. I
I s-
bought the
didn't I sent you the
hardcover.
digital, didn't I send you the digital too just recently
I'm
for
gonna have to
Hunter's
go
Moon?
back and check my email, man. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
check
I'll
my
check it.
email.
Yeah, I swear I sent it to you just so you could because I
Okay,
wanted you to read it.
I'll check it.
Well,
That's
anyway,
on me.
yeah, check it out. It's okay. In Hunter's Moon, there's a portion where he he has the man's got this ability, he can take a beating, and that's something I gave him. He has this excessive willpower, more willpower than any human should technically have.
Right.
Um, and to the point where I've always said it's very much his greatest strength, but it's also his biggest weakness, right? Because
Doesn't
and
know
that's
when to
on full
quit.
dis yeah, that's on full display in Hunter's Moon. Like he just will keep his will. Your will can be amazing and unbreakable, but your body is not your will. Your body
Exactly.
breaks,
You can
and
only take so much.
that's kind of what we did in Hunter's Moon with him. Like I showed that he will keep going, but his body at a certain point it cannot, and it has its limits. And so what ended up happening there was he at one point his body fails him because I mean, granted, he takes I gave him an excessive beating by because my thought going into Hunter's Moon when I was that the Convictor himself he's a formidable opponent for anyone. All right,
Right.
he's an exceptional hand to hand. He's an expert hand to hand fighter. He's an expert weapons handler. He's expert. He has a tactical and strategic mind from being a former soldier. He is very well versed in all things combatives. And
Right.
not to mention then he has his ninja training, which includes stealth and includes all that other kind of stuff. Not to mention, the various things that go with that. He's excessively formed. Then he has the suit on top of all that. So then you have the suit, right? We have the suit that's infused with nanites, self-learning nanites, and things like that. So then there's that. So he's
Right.
excessively formable. Uh, he's not unbeatable. I'm not some of these guys that were like, my OC's super tough. They're out there though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, of course your OC's tougher than somebody else's because it's yours. You can wrote it that way. I mean, don't get me started on that. There's guys out there that literally talk about how their character can beat another independent comic. Are you freaking real? Are you real on that? Like, who cares? Like, of course it can.
Yeah.
I better hope. You're the creator. I better hope it can. But,
What kills
so
me
anyway,
is when indie creators come in there and tear each other down. That's what
yeah.
really chaps
There's
my ass.
just, yeah, there's just, there's really no reason for that. I mean, sometimes, you can get on my bad side. Like, I'd be there's some real fake individuals out there that are very notorious for what you just said. And because I don't know if it's an inferiority or it's like you feel your jealousy. I don't know what that shit is, but there's no place for that in this.
No.
There's, we're all doing the same thing. We're trying to make our dreams happen, or our creations, and to sit there and you know whatever,
Little
talk
somebody's
shit.
stuff, man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's just
for like
horse
what
shit.
for
Who
what
does
reason?
that?
Yeah, it's people that don't have enough. It's I'm just it's probably they don't have enough. They're either not true creators, or they just
No
don't have.
self-esteem. That's what
Yeah, they have no
I think
self-esteem
it
and
is.
enough, and they have enough belief. They don't have enough belief in what they're doing. They
No,
don't have it, and they think their shortcoming instead of going back and reworking their craft and
they
learning what
want to
these
tear
shortcomings
everybody else
are.
down.
You're gonna tear everybody else down instead of going back and learning what the hell you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
But whatever. So anyway, I digress. So back to the Convictor, I end up
Yeah.
putting him on his ass in that book, and uh, so there's a part where he's laying there, and like I said, he's literally about to be crushed to death by the werewolf, and what I ended up doing was there was a voice that kind of stirred him uh, out of his really bad situation. So
Gotcha.
I'm leaving like breadcrumbs is basically what I'm doing with going with the books here, and
Building
trying
something to
so
a whole lot bigger. I got
yeah so the Convictor's he's a character that has had uh, his whole life is filled with loss, and he's raised an orphan. He doesn't know who his parents were. He was always raised within the system. Um, he he got out of when he became 18, enlisted in the military. He became an exceptional soldier. So he found a home in the military. Threw himself headfirst in it, especially having that ability that he has with the willpower and stuff made him a pretty damn good soldier.
right.
And so he was given his prototype suit because he was so reliable as a soldier. And he was to field test it. Goes out with his team, his fire team, and these guys are also like brothers to him, of course. And just like everything else in his life, they get, they everyone dies. So I can say that that's not a secret. They all die. He's presumed killed in action. He's not. He's taken to rehabilitate. and he's rescued by this ninja clan, and he rehabilitates, and he's kind of realized he's been you know killed in action. So he kind of found a family with these warriors, found brothers, stuff, all this stuff he didn't have. And
Right.
finding a surrogate father, and he even finds a wife. So this happens, and he and then that he loses all that too. All that
Oh,
gets taken
wow.
away from him too. All that
Put
one
it through the
night,
ringer, man.
yeah, one night. So he does something he doesn't quite understand. He does a ritual that, and yes, it's a ancient ninja ritual that kind of puts. It's basically like it's for a mission that you don't plan to come back from. It
Right.
it's puts you in a trance like tunnel vision kind of thing. It's called the Shinyan in my
Okay.
books, and it means it means to be convicted of spirit. You know what I mean? And so he puts himself in this thing to go make these people that did this made him pay. Right? They have to pay, and he didn't expect to come back from it.
Okay.
So unbeknownst to him, when he does this ritual, he kind of opens the doorway to have something else attach itself to him.
Oh, wow.
And so he literally has no idea. So he has no idea that he's this thing. He just thinks, so he goes and he gets his revenge. He didn't die during it like he thought he should. So he goes on to, but he still has this compulsion to make purge purge the wicked, if you will, to make people
Right.
pay that are deemed that they're deemed where they're not worthy of redemption, right? So all in his own head. So he goes and he ends up in the city he's in now because he grew up in that city and he knows that's the most corrupt and most wicked city he's ever been to. So he goes there and he continues his mission as this thing, solely believing it's solely believing it's his doing, but it may not be his doing. So he may be. That's why I call him the Avatar. I say he's an avatar of of retribution because he is. Uh, he's actually doing work on the behalf of uh, an a primordial deity, a primordial god. So he just doesn't. I've talked about that plenty of times on Crossfire. So yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
he does. So he's out there doing. He's doing not God's work, but a God's work,
Right.
and he has no. And at this point in the comics, he has no idea. He literally has no clue. Uh, there will be a portion in Resurgence in this book right now where you will see that at play. You will see that he's given instructions, and subconsciously, he's not aware of these instructions, but subconsciously, he acts on these instructions. You will witness that in this book. So, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. I could talk about him all day. Sorry. Because
No, it's good, man. I love it.
when you carry something around in your freaking head for almost 40 years, it's really easy to talk about it.
Telling you, I know exactly what you mean. I had end of days in mind for
Yeah,
shit going on 30.
yeah. That's it. And I think that's what's cool about is like as creators, you just like you want to. Jerry says traditional art is magical. It is. It's also frustrating as f. So, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm. Thanks, though, Jerry. Yeah, Jerry loves traditional art, and but right now I'm drawing. So drawing shit like this is really easy for me. Like I'm drawing like he has a tactical vest. Brovet does. So
Right.
this shit's like everybody's like, you draw that stuff so well. I'm like, yeah, because I wear this shit every day.
Yeah,
It's
I
easy.
mean,
I got tons of this shit at
you
home.
got
I
to
got
look,
tons of this
you
stuff.
look at it all day long.
Yeah, I look at it. I freaking wear. I was like, I could tell you whatever. So yeah, it's easy. It's easy to draw at a certain point when you freaking all you do is see it. Yeah, because that's right. Somebody had mentioned about firearms. Like, hey, your firearms are really good. I'm like, well, I mean, I make a living off of them, so it's
Yeah.
just how it is. But after a while, you see shit so much you can draw it. But, all right, now like I said, I'm drawing Brovet here. I'm going to put a surprised look on his face too. This is like one of those things where you think you're alone, but you're not. It's one of those moments.
Right, right. He's just
But,
creeping on the come up.
yep, that's it. But, he's going to taunt. He's a lot of the dialogue in this. He's going to taunt a lot of these guys before he puts them to rest, if you will. So there's going to be a lot of taunting into things like
I like that.
it's well, in my first book, he didn't really speak. I he literally only spoke towards the end of the book, the Convictor, because he's very much a character. Like if he doesn't have anything to say, he's not going to talk. There's no
Right.
reason to talk, and so he didn't really speak until the very end of the book. Uh, Now in this one, this is 6 months later after the Hunter's Moon book. The world's kind of different because of the events in Hunter's Moon, and so these gang members are really they're really pieces of work. They're really they're just they're POSs, and they're really rotten. They're
Yeah.
they're thugs, right? So he's given these instructions, and so he's a little more vocal in this because he's a little more brutal in this. He wants to terrify them before
Right,
they
right.
they're purged.
Build it up.
Because he's given instructions to make them suffer, and so and that's what he does. So a little terror goes a long way, and I think it's kind of what he's shooting for here. So he's trying to scare these guys.
Hell,
It's not so
anybody that'll
much. I
beat on
mean,
an old man needs to suffer.
right, exactly, and that's the thing. Like he could easily sneak up on these guys, and he could have, he could have killed them, 2 panels ago. But it's
Right.
easier to come up and you like that. Like there's someone standing behind you, and they say something to you, So there's terror goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying. He does not like. He wants to make these guys afraid. So now, granted, they say that they all call him a ghost and all this stuff, but these guys aren't going to be able to say anything after this book. So I think I might be giving it away. They're like, hey,
Yeah, yeah.
I think I've been very clear that there is a definitive winner in this book, but
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
yeah,
If anybody watched
but
the Crossfire, they know they're not walking away from this shit.
yeah, no, and they very much have their lives are finite. They don't really have a lot of yeah, not much for this. These guys aren't long for this world, and they all deserve it. So now like you have to be to get to it. He's does like I've said this before about the Convictor. He doesn't go after purse snatchers. I call him a vigilante, but he's not a superhero. You know what I mean? He's not
Yeah,
that.
I was wondering
Uh,
what kind of drives him then. I mean, other than
like, well,
this mystical kind
uh,
of force that's
yeah,
kind of driving him. Is
he
that pretty
doesn't
much it?
like.
Or?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, let's see, like basically, like let's say he sees somebody breaking into a car. He doesn't care about that. He
Okay.
sees they snatch a purse. He doesn't care about that. A robbery, he doesn't care about. That's not. He has to. You have to reach a certain level of what I like to call wickedness. Like you have to cross a certain line for to be because you have to
For him,
like for him to
yeah,
yeah
I
for him
got you.
to because everything gets he his thing is like he does these people once you cross a certain line you are not going to live. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Okay.
you're literally removed from this planet because you're purged from it. And so that's what ends up happening here is that you have to you have to be worthy of that purging. You have to be a real piece of shit. So he like this case in point Resurgence. Like it takes a while for him to intervene in Resurgence. Like
Right.
again, them chasing these gang members cornering this old man, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to intervene. Um,
Yeah, I remember you
so
saying that before on Crossfire.
yeah, he doesn't, he doesn't, it has to be a certain thing. And, and if you can't be redeemed, like you're not somebody that, okay, you to be purged from the earth, I mean, you're purged, you're done, you're gone.
All right.
And,
Game
so
over.
it takes a, yeah, so he's not a superhero in that sense. At least right now, he's not. He doesn't go and he doesn't chase purse snatchers. He's not concerned with any of that. He's only concerned with taking the people out of here that need to be removed, that need to be purged from the earth. And that's uh, that's what he does. He thinks it's his own doing again, but it's not. So
I got you. I tell
yeah,
you, man, the people,
yeah,
they say we don't put a lot into this. All the thought. I mean, I had end of days mapped out pretty much well over 20 years ago. And I
yeah.
mean,
That's awesome.
I had the broad, I say mapped out. I had the broad stroke. And since my daughter taught me into getting back into comics and actually making a
Yeah.
go of this, we fine tuned it, and she's filled in the gap. And just
I like your books. I like them because they are very similar to the end of this series. We have a lot of
oh wow,
similarities, and yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this book. So I really, and it's funny how our kids kind of talked us into,
yeah.
doing
I mean,
drawing stuff.
I had given up on this, man. I've drawn on and off through the years, but never serious. Never
Right.
really. I draw, like a little card for the kids or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but I never would. I never even thought about actually doing a comic book. I mean, yeah, I'd play around with some character sketches and stuff like that from time to time when I got a wild hair up my ass. And but never in my wildest dreams did I think I would actually do a Kickstarter, let alone two Kickstarters, and now I'm looking at
Yeah.
the third.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
crazy. Like yeah, I feel you. Like I said, I drew all these stuff when I was a kid and all that stuff. And you're right. As an adult, I would, I have my martial arts school, so I drew the logos for that. I'm still drawing like more graphic design stuff.
right,
And
right.
guys at work, we had team shirts made up for work where we had a force on force, federal graded force on force exercise, and uh, so we had shirts made up for the members of the team that were selected for it. So I made shirts for everybody. So I still
That's
was
cool.
doing things, but I wasn't
Right, right.
drawing. I would sketch the Convictor here and there, and that's.
That was all.
But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I
you're
know
right.
what you mean.
Yep, it's just how
And
it is.
man,
And
there's nothing like it. It just, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just the idea that I actually have a book out there that people
yep.
are looking at and enjoying, man. It just blows my mind. I mean,
Well,
it's
that's how I was when I was with. We were talking about the SSB stuff when we were first getting in, and they're like, well, my goal was right to get. I just want my book in people's hands. You know what I mean?
right.
And I just,
Exactly.
I just, I just saw one the other day. Someone bought off the website, and that's like, man, that's like the coolest feeling for me. Is just
Oh
that
God,
someone
yeah.
went on my site, wanted to buy it. So then when we did the SSB, we had the distribution thing kind of was something that was going on. And you're like, well, we're only in, for right now, when we first were growing, we're only in like a few stores. And I said, I don't
Right.
care. That's more, that checks a box for me that my book is on a comic book shelf in a store, in a local
That's
comic shop.
awesome.
And uh, and that means a lot to me because I wanted to be someone's impulse buy. Because I remember going to the comic book store in the 80s
Exactly,
and,
man. And
and
checking
seeing the
all the
very,
books out.
I was always grabbing Marvel this, Marvel that. And one day I turned my head, and there was, there was a Ninja Turtle book.
Oh yeah.
And if didn't say Marvel or DC on it, you know what I mean? So I didn't know what independence comics, I didn't know they existed, right?
Right.
And I saw this book. I'm like, what the frig is this? It was like 83, 84. I'm like, it was like one of I'm like, first books from the black and white. I'm like, it's black and white, and it's these
Just
freaking
raw as
turtles.
hell, yeah.
It
Raw as
was
hell.
so
I
raw.
remember
I
those
mean,
books.
and I saw it, and I was enamored with it. I was like, holy shit. I put down, I think I was buying like Spider-Man or some shit. I literally put it down, and I bought that book. And, uh, and it was like, it was awesome. And I was like so, and that was my first introduction, and that changed like that really realistically changed everything with what's up, Beast? That changed everything with the Convictor for me. That changed and steered a whole other genre because it was gritty and it was violent, even though it looks like turtles, and I mean it just had a great story. Yeah, that was my
Exactly.
first. That was my
And
first indie comic.
the one thing I remember about that series, it made me believe and it gave me hope that I said, hey, I can do this. I can do this. You know,
Yeah.
that's the
Oh yeah.
biggest thing that I took away from it. It blew my mind.
Yep.
It opened up a whole new world for me.
Yeah. Once I realized that, you're exactly right. Once you realize that these were not paid. These are not guys from Marvel. They self-published this book too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I didn't learn that. Like they didn't have anybody. They were doing that shit before there was a freaking Kickstarter, and
exactly.
that was epic. Yeah, that was really cool. And
And Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I think we kind of jumped into this thing at the right time, because
yeah,
it's such a
yeah.
game changer.
Well, I think we've had this discussion a couple times on on the different lives and phalanx and all that kind of stuff. And I think one of the discussions was is that because of COVID and then Diamond just shutting down, Diamond distribution shut down and just basically effed everyone. And then
Oh, they did that. That's for damn.
yeah, and then Marvel and DC literally eating themselves alive with all this other,
Bullshit.
you know,
I'll call it what it
political
is.
woke, political wokeness bullshit. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not anti anything. I'm pro everything, but
Yeah, I don't want it shoved
don't
down my throat.
don't
Yeah.
right, don't shove it down my throat.
I'm not trying
And
to
so
make
they
you
were
see things my way. Quit trying to make me
right,
see things your way.
yeah. So they took a what's up, Toner? They took a beating that way. So then indie comics just kind of rose, and indie comics came out and kicks like because these Diamond wasn't printing, and you know um the so Diamond wasn't printing, so you weren't getting monthly DC books because of Diamond, and so that kind of opened up the door for all of us,
It's the
and
perfect storm, man. I mean,
it
literally.
really was the perfect storm, literally, and we did. I mean, it was great. And the Kickstarters have been. It put a lot more eyes on indie comics,
Yeah.
And now, granted, you have Big Indie, which you have like Image and Boom and all them that are now on Kickstarter for everything, but yeah, there's a nice little niche for us
Oh yeah,
and it's awesome.
definitely.
And it's really awesome that we're able to, you know, get on there and people can get eyes on us. And indie comics has its own comic books literally has its own genre on Kickstarter, which is pretty awesome. You can't go wrong with that.
No, one of the cool, we've talked about this too, though, and I've never really said it in live. I was going to tell you guys if I ever got to make it on Phalanx, but my tech issues, me being a fucking
Yeah.
caveman. But but anyway, I tried for 2 hours, but that's another
I know
story. I
you
don't
did. I
even
felt
want to
bad
talk
because
about that.
I would see you pop up, and you're right, Beast. You're absolutely right. I would see you pop up on there, but it'd be a spinning circle for us,
Yeah,
and
I
it was a
couldn't,
spinning
man.
circle,
I don't.
no visual. Yeah,
But
but
anyway, one of the best
but
things that come out of the pandemic, besides getting the book out there, was meeting all of you guys, man, and just
oh yeah,
becoming
absolutely.
friends through all this, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
support each other, and we got each other's back.
absolutely.
I love your
That's true.
slogan for the Phalanx, "Stronger Together," because
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah, that's how we try to, that's how we look at it. We want we just want everyone to, we just don't, there's no reason, it's indie comics, it's not, there's enough room for all of us, and people don't get
Yeah,
that. They try to make it a competition. There's other indie groups out there that want to make things a competition. They see it as competition, and that's just silly as hell because it's not a
it is.
competition.
I mean, we've got
And
so much different stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's why would you even try to make it a competition?
yeah,
You
and
know?
there's no reason for it. And but some people they want to see it that way, and it's a shame because it's indie
It is.
comics is
It's
there's
sad.
enough room for all of us, but it's not because people I know I get it. You're protective of your characters. Maybe there's that. So many people. I've only had one person try to lift the Convictor likeness from me,
Oh
and
wow.
and they don't realize this person has got a I'm not naming names, but they're kind of they're not the swiftest. Now this is a 37-year-old character. If you don't think I have it copywritten, and so
Exactly. I mean, what do they think we
yeah,
are?
so
We might have been
yeah,
born in the morning, but it wasn't this fucking
yeah, yeah. So you kind of found out that that's not in your best interest. So uh, I have literally piles of documents. Even if I didn't copy it, I have proof that this is my character beyond measure. And
right.
so some people are just, but that's a lack of creativity, or they're trying
Yeah.
to ride. And don't get me wrong, I'm not tooting my horn, but they're just trying to ride on
Ride the
something they see as
wave. Yeah. I got you.
popular. Yeah, yeah. And but it was only once, and it didn't happen again. So to the point where they even wanted to call the character same color scheme, and they wanted to use a name. There is nobody else. I literally made up that word. The convictor is a word I made up. It doesn't exist. So, uh,
Yeah.
and so they actually, try to use a version of that word. I'm like, there's no other hero anywhere that uses the word convictor. You know what I mean? So, uh, so we had to put somebody in her place, and so that was it. And it didn't happen again. So at least be thankful for that. They should be
Right.
anyway.
Me and Dan have talked about that bullshit that's going on with him. I mean, every time he
Yeah,
turns
that is.
around, somebody's trying to lift his shit.
Yeah, I just put on my Bigfoot Nose Karate shirt yesterday. I was wearing it during the day, and I said as soon as I put it on, I remembered that. I remember that he said that somebody literally had a mirror site put up,
Yeah, I think they did it
like
on
for
Amazon too. Amazon and
Jesus
where
fucking.
some
I mean,
maybe where else was it? There was somewhere else he told me they
it
tried to
was.
lift.
I know. Yeah, I know it was T Public. That's where he does a lot of his printing. I think. I know it was there, and then. But yeah,
Amazon.
that is some bullshit, man. That is some bullshit. Like, you gotta be a real asshole to,
Oh
to
yeah,
do
no
that.
doubt, man. No doubt.
Like, why the, like, I don't know, but then that goes back to that unoriginality stuff. But,
Yeah, and lack of creativity.
yeah, yeah, it's popular. Yeah, it is popular because somebody worked their ass off to make it freaking popular.
Exactly.
But,
That reminds me, I got to get on your site. I seen, don't you have some shirts with just the Convictor's, the yellow part of his mask on the front of it?
yeah, that's on our. We have a line called Icons, Icon
Yeah,
line, and it's just things that are just things that are recognizable of the character. Yeah, that's on there. It's like giant. It's like really massive on the chest. It's
yeah,
cool.
I,
So,
I dig that. I dig that. I'm gonna have to check it out and get me one.
well, I'll I'll put this out there. We got some folks on here, but this is actually a bird. So it's shaped like a bird. So,
You know,
his mask.
yep, I see it now. I
Yeah,
was sitting there racking my brain last night. I was like, well, it kind of looks
yeah,
like part of a crucifix, but I don't think he's
yeah,
going
that
there
too.
with it.
Yeah, no, I love double meanings.
Yeah,
I love my whole everything I do either usually has a hidden or at least or a double meaning, or everything I have does, right? So everything I just big into that. So yeah, I mean it's could be shaped like that for a reason too. I mean you're not completely wrong on that. But yeah, it's an ascending bird. It's
that's awesome.
his ninja clan was the Raven clan,
Okay,
and
makes perfect sense
and
then.
and a raven in a lot of cultures is a symbol of vengeance or justice, and
Right.
so it's an ascending raven. This mask, the shape has I can't talk too much about it because it has this shape that he wears. He doesn't have it because of his uh, because of his ninja clan. It's called the Raven Clan. He doesn't have it because of that. He has it because this shape was important to someone else, and
Okay,
when he sought vengeance, he you put this shape onto his face, and
gotcha.
so this is and then of course those nanites are always trying to make him happy because that's their jobs. They're always learning. They're always learning. They're always trying to gather data. They're always um, trying to make the operator, the guy wearing the suit, that's him, trying to always make what they believe he wants. You know what I mean? Going forward. So the
Right.
shape they recognize the shape was important. They recognized the color was important. So they configured the mask on the suit to represent that. So
That's cool.
that's what happened. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's what they
you
did.
talk about those double meanings and stuff in your book, and I've never really went into detail with this because, I don't know why. But anyway, I've dropped the clues and stuff, the obvious clues, but there's a lot of very unobvious clues in there that are going to be hinting as to what actually is going on and that'll feed into the twist big time. We've got we've
Awesome.
got a we've got a few twists coming, and you know how it is. You got your story, just like you were talking about. You got the idea, and you know where it's going, and you're just dying to tell somebody, and you can't.
Yep.
And that's where I
Yep.
am with
I
this.
hear that's the guys that really know about it are the team members. The guys that
Right,
are
right.
that I know they're permanently going that are on board with doing like Sleek. Sleek knows the whole story because the Victor story is like excessively. There he goes. He looks surprised. Let's see. Let's pull him up here. Brovet looks surprised. Oh yeah, that's definitely a surprise. Okay, perfect. Uh, yeah. So Sleek knows the whole story, um, and we have I think Dennis knows the whole story. I think Chris does too. I think only because it's like uh, I plan to do. I think it's like 13 books I have that I want to do for the Convictor, and when he's done, it's done. Like I have other characters, and I have two main characters that are my top characters. The Convictor was my
Right.
main street level. He's my main street level character. He's like the, he is the my number two. And I have another character who's much, my Superman level type of character.
That's
I
what I
have
was
him as
thinking.
well.
I thought you had mentioned something about that.
I do. I have a guy called he's like Triac. His name's Triax, and he is he is that level. So two completely different. One Convictor represents my street level universe, the Convictor verse, if you will, and Triax is the head of the table on my much larger universe because he's from space. He's from space. He does all. He's just that level hero. He's incredibly powerful. He's basically my version is like if you took like Superman and put him in Iron Man's armor. So it's kind of like that.
Gotcha. That's badass.
Very, yeah, kind of like Dennis's Celestial Knight. It's 13. It's my favorite number. 13 books, Jerry. I'm not including companion books, just Convictor books. Um, but yeah, like Dennis's Celestial Knight has a lot of similarities to my Triax character. So being this having this this excessive power, and now the difference is my Convictor is an anti-hero, right? He will
Right.
do the brutal thing, to just because he's gonna kill these guys. Does he have to kill them? No, but he's going to. Um,
Right.
Now Triax, my hero, is very much cut of a Superman cloth. His morality is it's so high, and his principles are so important to him. It's a hindrance. It can be a hindrance, like Superman. Where most people use that shit against Superman.
See, that's what
That
turned me on to Superman in my later years.
yeah,
Just
yeah. That's what I
his
said. Me too.
morality.
Yeah,
I never understood
I.
it as a kid.
Mhm. Me too, bro. That's exactly the same reason why I started liking him as an adult. I had I watched an episode of Justice League Unlimited, or maybe Justice League the cartoon. Fantastic cartoon.
Yeah.
And there
Oh,
was a
yeah.
part where he fought Darkseid, and he even said, like, he gave this whole monologue like to Darkseid, like, do you have any idea what it's like living in a world of cardboard? Like you can't be too hard. You can break everything you touch. And
Yeah.
then it was such a cool moment for me because he said to Darkseid, he goes, like, knowing that I could basically kill anyone, if he hit him too hard. If he didn't, he always pulling his punches. But he goes, I don't have to do that with you. And he goes,
Right.
so, and he leveled Darkseid. He leveled him. And because he finally was able to hit somebody as hard as he possibly could. And that was like, that shit like that's cool to me because you get to see the aspect that think of that as a kid. You're like,
No.
holy cow, this man is literally, pulling his punches, just like Spider-Man's a perfect example of that. Spider-Man is
Oh,
incredibly
God, yeah.
powerful. People don't
Super
realize
strong.
how powerful people don't realize how powerful he is because he never unloads on anybody. There's been a couple instances where he has, and the man's like throwing a car for Christ's sakes because
Yeah.
it's somebody that tried to kill Aunt May.
McFarlane really tapped into all that.
Yeah, he is incredibly powerful, and people just don't get it. They just don't understand that Spider-Man is one of the most powerful Marvel heroes, and he never got the credit he deserved. And in there, they've made reference to that too, where he's always holding back, and that's why I liked the MCU movies because they kind of touched on that. They
Yeah.
gave I didn't see No Way Home yet. I gotta go see it.
Oh, I'm not spoiling
Oh,
it.
I
You
know.
gotta
I
see that
heard
movie.
man, the internet spoiled it. But anyway,
Oh my
um,
God, it's spectacular.
he, yeah, Jerry, you and Jerry from E4 said it's one of his favorite episodes. Yeah, you and I have literally talked about that. Like, that's a very pivotal Justice League episode because Superman it just clicked. He says it, and you're like, God, I never thought about that. Superman literally walks through an entire world. If he presses too hard on something, he will break it. He's literally always, always being careful not to wreck something. That is crazy. It was so just to hear it was nuts. Um, but yeah, it's just so yeah, people don't understand that Spider-Man is cut in the same cloth. Like in the MCU, you had perfect. They don't realize it. Well, maybe you do realize it. Like Winter Soldier, he peeled Winter Soldier's arm off.
Yeah.
Like with like he, if you look at that scene in Civil War, Spider-Man is literally using two fingers and a thumb, and he peels his arm off, and he's holding it there. And if you watch it, Winter Soldier, like Bucky can't pull his arm away.
No,
That's how
he can't.
strong
He can't
Spider-Man
do.
is.
And that's the super
Yeah,
soldier.
yeah. And right, so I said that he's a super soldier, and that arm is way more powerful than his other arm.
Right.
He peeled it like it was nothing, like it was literally nothing, and there's not a damn thing he could have done about it either. And the look on his face
No.
was incredulous. It was perfect. And the same thing with Captain America. Like Captain America dropped that terminal on him. It's like I guess Cap figured it out that he was strong enough, but the kid held it up like it was heavy, but it was it wasn't unbearable for him. It was enough time for Cap to get away. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, that was the I like that they handled that right. That they made him. Well, even Tony Stark addressed it when he went and tried to recruit him to be in Civil War. You know, he right on, Beast. As much
Well,
as I
that
loved Winter Soldier, he goes, as much as I love Winter Soldier, something feels wrong about two men jumping an orphan. Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they did. They did. They were trying to beat up Spider-Man, but Spider-Man made them all feel stupid. So, but yeah, and like even Tony Stark when he had that YouTube video of him catching that car, and he goes, "What's that? Like 4 tons?" He's like, the kinetic voice, like he grabbed it, put it down like it was nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's good, man. Like they get Spider-Man right. So, and I don't know. The 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 Amazing Spider-Man movies got him right too. I don't think there's been a bad take on Spider-Man and his abilities. I mean, I
No.
know
Where they
you
messed up
had this.
with was the villains
Yeah, I was just gonna
in
say
some of
too
the
many
movies.
damn villains. You don't put Venom, who gets his own movie. You don't put him in a movie with like freaking two other villains. I'm like, why do you do
No.
that? Three other villains. Like that's too, it's
That
just that's
that was
no.
all studio pressure on Raimi.
Yep.
Raimi wanted to do Venom in Spider-Man 4 on his own and just have one
Yeah.
movie set up around
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they had to do it.
Yeah. They want to and the Venom. I mean, a lot of people. He does get a lot of people don't like that Venom. I mean, it wasn't terrible looking. Uh, I don't know if Topher Grace was the guy to be Venom, but
No.
uh, and he was a little small. Like that, at least the Sony gets Venom right. Um, but yeah, you have like the Garfield movies. Like those movies are good, but they did the same thing. Too many villains. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why these movies
Right.
they always want to get like a shit ton of villains uh, to try to sell the movie because I actually like Garfield's
And
Spider-Man
that,
movies.
oh, I loved it. I think, honestly, I mean, Holland, Tom Holland is the best of both worlds. He's the perfect Peter, and he's a good Spider-Man. But
Yeah,
Garfield was a perfect Spider-Man. I mean,
right.
perfect. He wasn't a great Peter Parker, but he was a. He didn't get any better than Spider-Man
Well, that's always
in my
been the
book.
issue, even going back, even with the Batman movies. Like anybody can be Batman. It's Bruce Wayne's the hard part in the
Yeah,
if you can't nail Bruce Wayne, that's that's the issue. And I think the
and
same way Peter
people
Parker is
and
right.
yeah, people give Keaton shit. I think he was the perfect Bruce Wayne.
He was cool. He was cool as Bruce Wayne. And the whole. Yeah, and you actually saw he was a detective. He actually found
Yeah,
the serum, the Joker's stuff that was in the makeup. Like, I mean, you saw that part from him. Like, Affleck wasn't given his. I personally like Ben Affleck's take on Bruce Wayne. I liked him more in Batman vs Superman, Justice League. Not the Snyder one. The theatrical one was a little bit of a
yeah,
hot
yeah,
mess.
yeah.
But uh, but I liked his take on Bruce Wayne and Batman vs Superman because you saw he charged into the wreckage of that building in Metropolis and he didn't care
Exactly.
that he wasn't wearing a Batman suit. And my favorite part of that movie was when he's reading that letter and he's watching that thing and you see that the Capitol building explodes, right?
Right.
From Luther's bomb. And the he didn't say a word in that scene, but man, if you could feel the righteous anger that was boiling up in him, like he just sold it for me there. And
Oh yeah.
and I mean, granted, I mean, I like his Batman. His Batman was that's kind of he's kind of
He was the Dark Knight Returns. I mean,
oh
he was the
he
epitome
was
of that, of Frank
oh
Miller's
yeah
Batman.
oh yeah
And the
he
fight
was
scenes, he
brutal.
did some of the best action and fight scenes I have yet
I
to
said
see in a
that.
Batman movie.
I get in a Facebook argument a couple times. I'm like, if that is the most comic book accurate Batman fight scene you're ever going to see,
I
and
mean,
people
it
are
was
like,
dead on,
no,
dude.
they're like, he's supposed to do flips and do like pirouettes and all this kind of shit. I'm like, shut up. What are you talking about? That is the 40-plus-year-old Batman who's seen 20
Just
years of
straight,
Gotham bullshit.
raw combat, taking
Yeah,
mofos
right.
down
Yeah, who doesn't
with
give a shit
extreme
anymore.
prejudice.
Yes, who doesn't give a shit and literally wrecking dudes. And I mean, he was that warehouse fight scene is one of my favorite fight scenes. And now that being said, that set the uh, that set the state. I think that set the bar for how Batman fights now because you see the Pattinson
Oh
made
yeah,
same thing.
they
Right,
kept
that the
that. Yeah,
trailer, right? Yeah, where he's like literally beating someone pretty much to death, like. And so they I think that set the bar on what people are expecting from their Batman.
and I
I
tell you,
mean,
man,
nothing.
I can't wait to see that movie because it's like it just like you were talking about with Keaton's Batman, the detective. We're actually
Yep.
going back to the roots of Batman in
Yep.
this movie,
Yeah.
and that just
Absolutely.
it doesn't get any better than that in my book.
No, it should be pretty awesome. Like I said, I mean I talked shit on Affleck when he was cast as Batman. Like I was
Oh, I
very
did
vocal
too,
about it.
but he won
And
me over.
then he won me over. Like he was, I don't know. I know it's like acting and stuff, but the fact like when Superman and Batman vs Superman ripped the doors off the Batmobile,
Yeah,
and he's
look on his.
knowing
Yep.
yeah, like granted he hit him with the Batmobile and he bounced off. It didn't even hurt him, and then he rips the doors off, and then he stands up and gets in Superman's face. I'm like, see, that's a Batman that's 20 years grizzled. He doesn't give a
Exactly.
shit. He just doesn't care.
No, he's like, "What?
it was
Kill me, buddy. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
backing
that was one of
down."
my favorite. That was one of my favorite scenes in that movie. Is that he just got up and was like, "Yeah, end," and so it just kind of showed that he is. Yeah, and plus he was taller than Cavill, which is pretty cool too. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
But,
they were really they're really close in height though, aren't they? They're not that much difference in those two.
yeah, yeah, but he was the biggest Batman we ever had. I think he was like six
Oh
four.
God, yeah,
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 he was
definitely the
massive.
biggest, most physical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah,
Keaton's
he
like
was.
what 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, yeah, I think he was. And I mean, Bale was. I think Bale's like 6 foot, maybe a little bit taller. But I didn't. Yeah, it's just it's crazy that just that the how massive. And then like I said, the Affleck's Batman suit was easily the most comic book Batman suit you've seen in a movie.
Oh
So
God, yeah, I loved it, loved it.
yeah. All right, and now Pattinson's is a People are talking shit about Pattinson's, but Pattinson's is a year one. It's a year one.
Yeah, exactly.
I
That's
mean,
why I always say just shut up, man. I mean, it's year one.
yeah.
Give a guy a break.
Yeah, yeah, it's year one. I mean, I'm not expecting him to be running around with all the. I mean, the car alone is badass. Like,
Oh
I'll take
yeah,
that car as a Batmobile. That'll work.
damn right.
Uh, yeah, it's
You're not
this
gonna
guy. People.
please everybody though. You're
No,
just
I
not
was just
gonna
saying
do it.
these fanboys. They complain about everything. So it is what it is. Drawing.
But yeah, you were talking about Hobby Lobby. You got me talked up for it. I got to go to town and get a haircut today
I.
anyway. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I might have to go. I'm sure if I mention it to my wife, she'll be all for it for the weekend. I'm like, oh,
Oh
yeah, Hobby
yeah.
Lobby? She's like, absolutely. No
Sound
problem.
like me, just drop it. Yeah, hey, don't you need some? Don't
Yeah.
you need some stuff?
And it also helps me get my kid to go because there's Chick-fil-A there. So, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
win-win all the way across the board.
I got
Yeah. All right, trying to draw. No, I'm sketching out my other. Like these ones are okay. I got to fill these in and really get the town on these. But they're all. This is the other thing I do too is when I'm happy with a panel, I
you. Yeah,
will ink the borders on it. I'll ink the borders, knowing
I
that
got
I'm just. It gives. It's like a.
signing off
It's
on it.
just. Yeah, it's just a show. Yeah, exactly. It's just to show me that okay, it doesn't require a lot other than inking. I don't have to do much. I don't have to keep going back to it thinking I missed something on it.
Right.
All the shit we do. But
Telling you, like I said, every little bit of it helps. Everybody's got their own little thing.
yeah,
Whatever works for us. That's the main thing I love about doing indie though. I mean, I think me and Dennis were talking about this. We don't realize just how good we do have it, man. I mean, the sky is a limit. You know, that Norman
yeah,
Rockwell cover I done the other day, I couldn't have done
yeah.
that
That thing's
if I'd have
awesome, by
been
the way.
working for
Yeah.
one of the big three.
No,
And I mean, we can literally do whatever we want, any kind of team up.
no,
I mean, and we all care enough. It's going to have the quality, no matter what we're doing, because that
absolutely.
passion's there.
Yep. Hey, do you do this when you do traditional drawing? Do you put in like the interior lines with like where the joints are? Like I put a ball where the
Sometimes.
joint is, just so I know where, and I start fleshing it out where I'm going to put it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
sometimes I do. I don't do it all the time. If it's a
Yeah,
pose
me
I've
either.
done a lot, I don't do it. But if it's
Oh yeah,
something new I'm trying out, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
exactly. Okay, so I'm not alone. Yeah, just I do the same thing. Drawing this guy. Drawing bro that. Mr. Thank me for my service. This guy. He got kicked out. He had dishonorable discharge, but he make sure he tells everyone he's a vet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is for all my bros out there. So I call him bro vet. Yeah, yeah, he's we all know this kind of guy, stolen valor
Oh,
types. Yeah,
oh yeah.
so, but, so better way, make him a bad guy. It's perfect.
There you go.
Now the Convictor is a veteran. Well, he's actually KIA. I guess he's really not a veteran. He's killed in action, but he's decorated. So
Exactly.
yeah, that'll all come to light too later on down the road. Certain people will find out that he is in fact not dead. So
See, that's where I was kind
uh,
of going with that question about his suit being the people that
oh yeah,
made it.
that
If they
well
ever
that
find
thing.
out he's alive and come looking
Yeah, well that's funny you say that because that will. I have a like at the end of the Convictor series, I have this big. It's kind of like what I call my end game moment. It's a giant like trade paperback, right? And it's everything that all these stories are leading up to. And
for him. Right.
so it's going to have uh, there's going to be a lot going on in this book. It's literally like a cataclysmic event. It's it's world changing. It's world defining, and the Convictor is right in the middle of it. And there might be a place where somebody, like I said, finds out that he is in fact, not 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 dead. So
Right.
so there may be some, if there's city, you gotta think about logically. If there's a city in the United States that is overrun with pure chaos, like it's in a cataclysmic event, like there's monsters or whatever you said. The city's literally in pure chaos. Of course, the government's going to send in just find out what the hell's going on. They're not. It's United
Exactly.
States City. There's United States
Can't
citizens
sleep
there.
on that.
Yeah, they're going to send in, whether it's a reconnaissance team or whatever, they're going to send in the best of who they have to try to see what's going on. So who knows? Some of these people might show up and they might have technology that all of a sudden, the convictor may not be aware that his suit has a GPS on it. So because it is
Right.
government after all, government doesn't like losing shit if they can help it. So it
Exactly.
may come back. Someone might find out that he's actually is in fact alive, and or at least the suit is not lost. So there may be something like that happening.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. This is because what my story arc for the Convictor is like he starts out as this anti-hero, he murders all these people, and he's not a superhero. But my overall arc traveling, and at some point, he will take on more hero-like qualities.
Right.
Much to the chagrin of this person that is
This
riding
kind of
shotgun in his psyche.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So because heroes don't necessarily kill, but yeah. So this
Right.
person's not going to be too pleased with the his choices and later on in the books. So yeah, he has a whole story arc. Is it? It starts in one way and it finishes up. Uh, it finishes up very definitively, and because when I walk away from the character and his stories, I want to feel good about it. I want to know that I put it all out there and that it literally that folks get a definitive end. You know what I mean? Like everything that's been happening for all this, there's a reason for it, and he I want people to feel good about what they seen,
Right.
what they read. So and to say, okay, the series is officially over. So
That's cool.
that's good. Yeah, it's the plan anyway.
I'm gonna go ahead and spill something since we're
Do
talking
it.
about it.
Spill it. Spill
Give
it.
you a
Spill it.
hot take on the book on End
All
of
right.
Days. I haven't done this on a live yet. Okay, I talked about the 11 issue arc plus the prequel. Now
Mm-hmm.
that is the definitive end of that story. But what I plan on doing with this thing, being it's supernatural and it's angels, we're gonna
Yeah.
go the next arc. I've always had the plan of going through time and going through my favorite parts in time as far
Oh,
as
yeah.
so we're gonna have a medieval one, a medieval arc.
Uh,
We're gonna have a World War II arc dealing with Hitler and the Nazis and kind of why a different spin on why they were trying to collect all those artifacts and
yeah.
Christian
Okay.
artifacts and stuff like
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So we're doing an arc on that. And
Oh
I've always
shit.
liked like Blade Runner and love Blade Runner, so I've got to have a cyberpunk future
Oh
story
man,
arc as
like
well.
I love cyberpunk shit. I love all that. I mean, if you saw my promotions for, obviously you saw them for
Oh yeah,
Resurgence. Like I love cyberpunk. I love synthwave kind of shit. All that 80s shit. I'm all about that. That's badass. That's cool, man.
so yeah, this 11 issues is not the end of the story. It's the end of this story, but it's not the end of
Right.
the overall story.
All
So
right.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I've got a lot planned for it, man. Big plans. I just hope I live long enough to fill them out. know what I mean?
Well,
With all the
that's what I
plans
said.
I've got, we're looking at 50 years of books. I mean,
That's what I said about the Convictor. I'm like, I got to get this shit out. I'm not getting any younger. I need to get this stuff out. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Convict. Even no matter if I get the Convictor books done, and whatever, I something I don't make it, I'll be happy as long as the Convictor books are done. Everything else is As long as I get the Convictor books and one Triax book, I'll be happy. So
you good to go. Wow.
I'm good to go. Yeah.
I
So.
want to live to be about 150 and see all my books.
Well, that's funny that they said that. Like they said, kids today that are born today or have a real possibility of with medical advancements and all that kind of shit that's out there, and organ cloning and all that shit have a real possibility to be living 150 plus years.
Yeah.
That's
That's
so
crazy.
ridiculous.
That's
So,
insane.
I'm like,
There's no
damn.
time. Which I tell you, man, all the evil stuff, the world, how much it's changed in
Yeah,
the little bit of time I've been on. I don't know if I want to be around that long.
yeah.
If
Well, that's
that's
what I
what
said.
people are going to do with all that extra time is just get worse and more hateful to
I,
each other.
I literally said that to my wife. I said, man, I said it's not like we were when we were kids. I said, what kind of world are we living for? Like, my older kids are adults. They're already cynical, so they
Yeah,
already understand. But I'm talking about like my little kid. Like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, shit. Like, what do you, what kind of, look how crazy and stupid it is right now. What's it going to be like in 10 years? You
exactly.
know,
I mean, look what
but
we've seen just since, just say 2015, how much it's
right.
changed. And I
Yep.
mean, if you go back to 2010 and look at where we are now, I mean, it's insane, man. People
Yeah.
have lost their damn minds.
Yep. I don't know if there's any coming back from it. So I don't really. I mean,
That's the sad part.
there'd have to be a massive cultural shift, and
Definitely.
like a whole paradigm shift. Like that's the only way it would. That's the only way, and I don't really see that happening. So
No, I mean, it's shifting all right, and it's shifted for the worse.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, right. Yep.
People are just everybody's out for themselves, man. They don't give a damn about anybody else anymore.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. It is a shame. And then and everyone thinks you got to agree with everyone else. If you don't agree with them,
Oh yeah,
and they throw around these other words lightly, and they throw out words like Nazis lightly, and that's a fucking insult to everyone that was murdered by a fucking Nazi. To toss a
oh
Nazi
god,
word
yeah.
out just because you don't like the way somebody doesn't agree with your view on something, you call them a fucking Nazi. I'm like, bro, you haven't go read a goddamn history book if you
Exactly.
before you use a fucking term like that to describe somebody.
Well, that's another
But
thing, man. They're trying to erase history in general,
yeah, I
and
know.
that's a mistake. I mean, that's how we keep ourselves in
That's how you
check
learn.
to make
That's a,
sure
it's
we don't repeat those mistakes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. People don't get it. I mean, the reason you don't erase it is so you learn it because you're doomed to repeat it. So, and
Exactly.
yeah,
Well spoken.
yeah, you're right. Whatever. People just, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so they also were saying because I just had my grandson was born and not too long ago, a month old, and those kids are
Congratulations,
gonna
man.
thank you. Those kids are gonna live to like they're gonna live to like 2100, like to the year. I mean,
That's
that's fucking
insane, man.
mind blowing. That's mind blowing to me.
That's crazy.
Jesus, it is crazy. Like I was like, God
They might actually
damn.
see flying cars.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We were
I
supposed to
mean,
have them already. I feel like I was
exactly.
let down.
That's what I was. Yeah, we got fucking cheated.
Yeah, they let me down because I was expecting flying cars and I got robbed. Now,
Yeah, I'm
granted, I'm
writing a
walking around
letter
with
to somebody.
yeah. Now, granted, I'm walking around with a mini computer in my pocket though, so I do have that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you think about it. When we were kids growing up watching old Star Trek reruns with
yeah,
the little the communicators,
yeah, yeah, which
we
is a flip
literally
phone.
have them. Literally
Yeah,
have 'em.
I was telling my wife this. My wife's like a big science nerd. She's going to school to be a doctor, And like I said to her, I said, I said, you understand, like Star Trek, like you talk shit about sci-fi, but Star Trek has predicted fucking a good portion of the stuff that we own right now.
It really has.
And I told her about Kirk's communicator. I'm like, that is a flip phone. And I told her about hell in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Picard was using a tablet.
Yep.
Everything on was touchscreen. All their computers were touchscreen.
Here we are.
And that's yeah, here we are. And they had uh he had a tablet. The Picard sat there literally with a tablet. So yeah, man. I mean, shit. It's just we're living sci-fi predicts now. Not Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't usually predict shit.
Now,
Star Wars is
Star Wars
fantasy.
is a big mix of fantasy more than science.
Yeah. Yeah, but Star Trek always had. They
Realistic
always
shit.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying there's Borgs and shit, but you never know. But
Yeah, I mean, hell, who knows, man?
I'll,
There's too much shit out there for me to believe that we're
I'll
alone.
take
There's something
I'll
out
take
there.
yeah. I'll take a 7 of 9 though. But I'm just saying,
Hey,
if you're gonna do, I mean,
just putting it
what's
out
the
there.
trade-off? Yeah, what's the trade-off? You get Borgs, you get 7 of 9. So it's not, it's not terrible.
Uh, yeah.
But
Um,
it's not completely terrible. The trade-off, right? But
oh, yeah. There's pros and cons to
yeah,
everything. You can find the
that's it.
good in anything.
Yeah. But yeah, Star Trek was. I always enjoyed Star Trek. I, you know, I
I
thoroughly
haven't
liked.
watched any of the new series, Picard. I've heard mixed
Uh,
things on.
no, what I have watched is like no, I haven't. Like I think the last thing the Star Trek that I've watched, I followed religiously was Deep Space Nine because I loved Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
Um,
Deep Space Nine was good. I love Star Trek: The Next Generation.
yep, yep,
That's
yep,
why I'm interested in Picard. I don't know, man. Like I
yeah,
said, there's not enough
yeah,
time in the day to watch everything and do everything.
yep, yep.
So you got to make sacrifices, and Picard kind of
That's
fell
it.
to the wayside with me.
Well, if we have uh, you have like for me, I know that like you have Picard, right? I mean, it's like if it's not Patrick Stewart, do I even want to watch it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he's
is it a
in it.
prequel? Oh, is he? I thought it was a prequel.
No, it's not a prequel.
Oh,
It's a
oh.
continuation, and Picard is in it.
No shit. All
I
right.
mean, Patrick Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no shit. Because I know when they had the other movies, they're like, let's put Kirk in it so he can meet Picard. A lot of fan service was done in those movies.
Oh yeah.
Um, but now don't get me wrong, seeing Spock come and meet, because I love the Star Trek movie remakes.
Yeah.
They were okay. Like, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed Carl Urban as McCoy, and he
Oh,
was
I did
excellent.
too. Oh, he nailed
And
it.
he
Oh,
did
Urban
nail it.
nailed it.
And I also enjoyed Zachary as Spock. He was a great Spock
Yeah, he was.
because
And hell, even Chris Pine as Kirk. I mean,
he was
he
he
nailed it.
embodied it excellent. Yeah, it was that was they were good movies, and then they brought in the other Spock, which is cool because they were very forthright on these newer Star Trek movies, and they said that these movies were a different timeline, and they showed how
Yeah.
that timeline
What
was
is it? Is
created.
it the Kelvin timeline or something like that?
It was created during that pivotal moment that
With Kirk's
that
father.
was
Yeah.
with Kirk's fire, yeah, and so they were smart. They didn't want to crap all over the original Star Trek movies, so which was awesome. So they just created their own, and like I said, I really like them. I think they're good, and I enjoy I enjoy the characters a lot on it. But so
Oh
my what I
yeah.
was saying about Deep Space Nine for me, I really like Deep Space Nine because Deep Space Nine, um, I liked all the characters on Deep Space Nine. That's hard for me. I really was invested.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every single character on that show because sometimes you watch a show and you're like, you don't really care about some of the characters, right?
Exactly.
But boy, Deep Space Nine, like I call him Cisco. I love Cisco because I remember him from he was Hawk in a
Hmm.
he was Hawk in Spencer for Hire, right?
Yep.
So I always liked him as an actor, and
Did
and
you
then but
like the
yeah,
remake movie based on that series, the one with Mark
no,
Wahlberg on Netflix?
I had no idea there was a remake of that. I had
It's
no idea.
yeah, it's a movie, man. It's just
Oh,
called I
Spencer.
think it's just
Yes, Spencer.
that that
Spencer.
that is remade after that show.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Holy cow. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Because
It,
Spencer for
I
Hire was
loved it.
cool.
I loved it.
Yeah, that was no kidding. I had no idea. I will definitely check that out. I mean, I saw the trailers for it on Netflix. I didn't
That was
realize it was
Spencer for
connected.
Hire. Yep.
No shit. Well, it's Hollywood if they can't reboot something, right? So,
Yeah. No more originality. I mean,
nope,
come
nope,
on,
nope.
man.
It's like they ran out of ideas. At least they
Yeah.
say they did.
Well, they're scared to death to do anything original anymore. I mean, stuff
Yeah,
like Netflix and the streaming services are killing it right now with original content. But
yep.
it's like they're scared to do it with a major film anymore. They don't want to. They don't want to lose money. They want to go with what's been established already. I just don't get
Yeah,
it.
but well, I mean, they tried that with things like He-Man and all that kind of shit, and they went and redid the cartoon and shit, and then you just certain things don't need to be remade. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
uh, it's okay to leave something where it is and not, not
Footloose.
try to.
Footloose was a prime example. That movie
Footloose is
was a classic.
you-
It
it was a
that was
classic.
that was blasphemy.
Yeah, yeah. You don't do that stuff. Just leave them be. Just let them exist where they existed, and but people don't. They can't. They can't do it, man. They can't.
That's
Hollywood
like Back
can't.
to the Future. They're talking about. They keep talking about wanting to
Yeah.
mess with it, and I think
No,
that's a
man.
big mistake, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big mistake. Leave that friggin' alone. Like, I don't know. Like, have you ever seen a remake that was actually like, what I mean, it's seldom. Whatever it's seldom. But I've never. I don't. And I'm literally trying to remember right now if there's any remakes that I can honestly say were better than the original. You know what I mean? And
I can't think of anything right off the top of
yeah,
my head.
I don't. I'm not
I
really.
mean,
Not
like
really.
you mentioned, J.J. Abrams, Star Trek was just as good, but it was not better.
Yeah, it was not better. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. Oh
Yeah, I
man.
mean, they just they killed me with that shit. Hollywood's just got crazy.
Mm. Yeah, they want the same thing with yeah, they just constantly want to do shit. Just leave it be. Let it exist. Just let it happen. Let
Yeah,
us older generations just have our thing and don't mess with
yeah.
it.
Just leave it
But
alone. Do your own damn
yeah,
thing.
that's that's what they do. Seems like they're not they're just oh my dog's in here. What's the matter, buddy? Gotta go out? Where is he come creeping up here?
What kind of
Where'd he
dog you
go?
got?
He is a Catahoula, a
Okay.
Louisiana. Yeah, Catahoula. He's Louisiana. His coloring is Louisiana Red Merle. So
Oh, beautiful
yeah,
dog.
yeah, he's a good looking dog. He's yeah, that's what he is. Yeah, we rescued him from Tennessee actually.
Okay.
Um, yeah, he was out there as a puppy running the streets. And
Oh,
then
wow.
they told us the rescue place told us he was a lab and cat lab mix, a lab mix, right? And then when we went
Uh,
and we rescued him and we took him to the vet's like, no, this dog's a legit 100% breed. He's 100% of this breed. And I'm like, really?
right.
We thought now from doing what I understand about the dog breed, the Catalahua dogs are they're a recognized mutt breed, I guess is what they call them. They're a mutt. However oxymoronic this is, they're a mutt breed that is a pure that is pure. I don't know, bred for this breed, but they're considered
Right,
mutts. I
right,
don't
right.
know.
Okay.
I never try to understand all that
No,
shit with
I give
dogs.
up that shit a long time ago. If I like the dog,
Yeah,
I
I
like the
just
dog. It don't matter what kind of bloodline.
yeah, I was just
Because
happy to
I've
rescue
seen
him.
some true full blooded breeds be dumb as shit, man. I
Oh,
mean,
hell yeah, because they're all freaking incest
exactly.
too. Yeah. I had we had we just rescued him. You know, we saw a picture of him, went and met him. And again, we didn't care what he was. We didn't had no idea. He was just a dog with spots, you know, no one cared.
Right.
My kid fell in love with him when we met him and we brought him home. And maybe he's only about 6 months old and so here he is.
Yeah, we got
Yeah. He's
I'd never had a small dog. I've always had larger breeds like collies and
mm-hmm.
border
Mm-hmm.
collies and or labs. And man, we got a multi food,
Okay.
and which don't get me wrong, he's not teeny tiny by any means. He's about 22 pounds, but that is the smartest, most loving, loyal animal I have ever come across. Fell in
That's
love with.
awesome.
I mean, he's our baby. He's one of our kids, man. Spoilt
Yeah.
rotten, just a head full of sense. I mean, it's
Well,
yeah,
I will say this
our
dog,
little
this
Frodo.
this dog, his name's Reese. He
Cool.
he's yeah, my daughter named him because he looks like a peanut butter cup because
Yeah, the
he's
color,
he
yeah,
he's tan. He's like peanut butter color and he has brown spots. So she named
got
him. But yeah, he's smart, but he's like I didn't the breed is like a hyper breed. Like I met somebody that has
oh
one and
yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
oh, she says to me, she goes, oh, all right, he'll calm down. I'm like, oh, cool. She goes, yeah, in about 5 years. I'm like, oh, great. So, yeah, he's smart. He learns. I mean, they're originally bred. He's got his webbing on his feet's like a lab. It goes all the way up between his toes. Um, because they're bred for like hunting and herding. So
Right.
he's definitely intelligent. Um, well, he's got a wild hair, that's for sure. But
Yeah, my
uh,
son-in-law and my daughter had a full-blooded German Shepherd. Utah
oh yeah,
tiger. Oh my
yeah.
God! I mean,
Yeah.
you could take him out of the yard and you could play with him a solid 12 hours and he wasn't gonna burn all that energy
Well,
off.
that's how he
It
is. Like
just
he gets, yeah, and he will destroy a toy. Like you get him something because I read up about the breed this and like they are notorious. Like they will destroy just about anything, anything to chew, they will destroy. And I'm like, man, like we get him toys and stuff, and they're useless. All right, that looks all right. Right? I gotta
I
pick it up
don't
and look
think
at it.
that's just a breed. I think that's pretty much any
A
dog.
dog. That's a
Our
dog.
little,
That's
yeah,
right.
our little dog, man. He's not happy unless he's tearing something up.
Hmm. He had an outdoor run, right? And he chewed
Yeah.
right through the steel cable.
Oh
And one
wow.
day
Damn.
I hear something at the back door. I'm like, what the hell? Opened the back door in the backyard. The
There he
dog's
is.
sitting there with the cable attached to his neck where he chewed through it.
Oh
So the
holy
first thing I did
shit.
was I checked his mouth. I was making sure he didn't cut himself all up in
Yeah.
the
Make
wires
sure
or
he
not.
ain't cut his gums up or something.
He
God.
is he's a knucklehead. So, mm. Well, he didn't hurt himself. He just, made me go out and buy a new run. That's all he did.
That's good he didn't hurt himself.
No, yeah. Yeah, you do. Dogs, man, they don't know. He'll, all right, I'm drawing Brovet getting a little squirrely with his pistol.
Oh hell.
Yeah. Now, mind you, this guy's just shooting in the dark. So
Right. Not gonna
yeah,
hit
he's
the broad side of the barn, much less the
yeah. Well, I have there's a couple panels before this where they don't know that the Convictor is uh
in there. Yeah.
he's in this darkness, so their Brovec just squeezes off like 4 or 5 rounds into this pitch black area, right? And so I have where the Convictor is like he's just sitting there, and the rounds are ricocheting all off, by his feet, past him in the wall. Like he just doesn't care. Well, he knows
Wow.
his suit has ballistic protection, so it's like one of those things where you become. Is he trusting on the suit, or does he not just care? Does he didn't care? So it's like
Exactly. You leave it for the reader to interpret.
exactly. That's right. That's exactly right. I'm using my .5 right now. I forgot I had this. It's so much easier. It's cleaner
God,
too.
dude.
Graphite wise
Lifesaver.
alone, it's yeah, completely cleaner.
Yeah, that's
Oh
that's
yeah.
all I use with traditional.
I might get more into this, honestly. I mean, I like the point too, but I tell you what, it's literally, I'm not getting that graphite dump like I get from the
It's a
lead
game
roller.
changer, man.
So,
It
yeah,
it really is.
especially detailing. Mm.
Oh yeah, it gets in there. See, I mean, you'll have that one side that's kind of wore down for your shape, but then you got that really
Oh, yeah,
fine
yeah.
point to go in and do
Yeah.
your details. It's the best of both worlds.
When you start drawing, you realize that your character has a massive beard. I gotta put that back on. I drew him like he didn't have one.
I do that kind of shit all the time.
Yeah. I was
Sometimes
like,
I'll
wait a minute.
forget I'll forget Gabriel's sideburns, and I'll have to go back in and draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. There's a lot of similarities in End of Days and what I'm doing later on in these books. I gotta talk to you about that. There's some
Yeah.
I'm using a lot of
What?
that,
Yeah.
a lot of the same concepts, which is pretty
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna have a discussion offline so we don't spoil it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, there he goes. Let's get his little face.
But yeah, got me and my daughter have a one of the biggest twists in the book was actually all her idea. I had an idea for one thing, but then she threw this one right back at me, and I was just blown away. I said, "Oh yeah, we're doing that shit, definitely."
Awesome. Yeah, kids, man. Kids. All right, I'm gonna fix Brovet's hat. His hat's a little too far up for where I drew this. So I'll put his eyebrows in now, and then I'll just drop his hat. There he is, squeezing off his little Glock 29. Mm. Ugh. Like I have this because my job we have these training pistols, right?
Yeah,
For like handgun retention and just drilling and all that kind of shit, right? So
yeah,
I have this one, and so I literally use this for just about everything. Well, it says Glock 17, but model because that's what we carry pistol wise, and yeah, so I use that for the Convictor's pistol as a Glock. So
yeah.
unless you're Hellwolf, then Hellwolf he's got a Colt 45. My character Hellwolf.
Can't beat the classic.
Yeah, it's a good gun. And he's, even though he's Australian, he recognizes American ingenuity when he sees it. So, yeah,
That's
he,
right.
uh, he,
I forgot about that. You talked with Jack and Nate to
yep,
get
yep,
schooled up on the ways to
on the
talk and
slang,
everything.
on the
Yeah,
vernacular, yeah, and
that was
yeah,
cool.
yeah, and apparently it's come find out a lot of the vernacular is regional. So,
Yeah,
uh, we think just like they probably think it. We think Australians say shrimp on the barbie and all that kind of shit, because we're
yeah.
Americans, and we think, well, that's clearly how they talk. I saw it in the movie, and but yeah, so talking to these boys, they're like, yeah, no one says that. So, and
Exactly.
I'm like, well, but that's like, well, I said I totally get that because I'm from New Jersey, and everyone thinks that the Jersey Shore is real, that MTV show, and uh, and I'm
I know
like,
better than that. I'm not
it's
that
not even,
naive.
yeah, it's not even like they think that's how people. I'm like, number one, all those people on that show are not truly from New Jersey, so they're all from New York, and they're not, they are not New Jerseyites, so they are, they're people from another state. Because here I live by, I'm literally 8 minutes from the beach, right? I live on the outside, on the
Right.
other side of the bay from the beach, from an island and a barrier island. And so what happens is in the summer, all these people that don't have beaches, like New Yorkers, I mean, they have beaches in
Show
New
up.
York, but they come, or they're from people from North Jersey or people from Pennsylvania, they come out to use our beaches. So that's what these shows like that are based off of, and they think that those are true people from Jersey, and they're not. Now, granted,
I got
I live in South Jersey, so it's a little different down here. But
Believe me, I know all about stereotypes being from
yeah,
Mississippi.
oh, I can imagine. Yeah,
Which
I
don't
can
get me
imagine.
wrong, I'm proud of my southern accent.
Yeah,
It
of
is what
course,
it
there's
is,
nothing wrong.
but
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of movies just they don't get it right. They really
yeah.
don't.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something funny. You'll probably laugh. We went to Tennessee one year, stayed in the cabin in Seaverville, Pigeon Forge area, Gatlinburg, all up there,
Yeah,
right?
I know
And
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, so we stay up there, and whatever. And because we were meeting our friends who actually came from Hattiesburg. My friends that were in the army, they
Hmm.
drove from Hattiesburg, and we met there, and we all stayed in the same cabin.
Right.
Uh, so we're there, and I go to I was picking up food or something, and I'm sitting there, and I strike up a conversation. There's a guy in line waiting with me, and we're talking. And he's from, I'm assuming he's from Tennessee, right? And we're talking,
Yeah.
and he's having a great conversation while we're waiting. Fantastic conversation. Talking about all kinds of good stuff, right?
Right.
And then and then he he gets, oh, that's right, he was coming out of the food place and I was going in, so we just struck up a conversation. And so then toward the end of the conversation, he goes, say, friend, where you from? And I told him I'm from New Jersey, right? He literally stopped
Yeah.
talking to me and walked away. He literally
Are
walked
you
away.
shitting me?
He literally stopped talking to me and walked away from me.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, bro, the Civil War's over, bro. We're all friends. That shit's
Oh
over. That
god.
shit's over, man.
Exactly.
So
It's not over for some of them.
yeah. Well, and something similar happened. We went down to North Carolina and did that con in July down by Chris's house. And it was
Yeah.
me and Jerry. Jerry from New York. I'm from Jersey. We're down there.
Right.
And Dennis is originally from New York, but Dennis lives in South Carolina. So we were all at this table together. Me, Chris, Dennis, and Jerry. And at the front of the one side of the table is Chris and Dennis, and then Jerry and I are towards the end. So they're picking up Chris's books. They grab some stuff from Dennis, and they said, "Hey, you should go check out these guys down here. We got we're from all over the place. So." And he said, they got some good books, and he's like, he's from Jersey, he's from New York, and the guy goes, "No thanks," and walked away.
Holy shit.
He goes, "Jersey, New York, no thanks," and he just walked away. I was like, oh, and Dennis looked at us, and we looked at him, we're like, I don't know, bro. So,
Wow.
it
See,
was
it's
hilarious.
folks like that that give most of Southerners a bad name.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
we're not all like that. A
No,
lot
no.
of us are not like that.
It's just, I'm like, yeah, as I said, I get it. I lived in Florida for 10 years. I lived, right, and I saw, when I lived there was everyone, they had the South Shall Rise Again bumper stickers, and, I get it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
understand. And, but you're going to hate on somebody because I'm not from the area. It's like, come on. It's a little silly
Yeah.
now. It's called the
Very
United States. Have you heard of it? It's called the
very
United States.
very small minded, man. That's what it is.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it because me and this guy were having such a great conversation. Then as soon as he heard that, he's like, nah. And he
Wow.
just walked away. I was like,
That's fucking
God damn.
crazy.
I literally never had that happen to me. That was funny. What are
Yeah.
you going to do? So,
Yeah. I mean it takes all kinds to make this world go around, but some
yeah,
folks are
it is
just
what it
taking
is.
up oxygen, man.
That's why I call them oxygen thieves.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people just, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It is. Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I went back and told. And then my buddy Bob, who was again, they were living in Hattiesburg, and
Uh,
he said, "Oh yeah," he said, because he was stationed there, and he goes, "Yeah, oh no, that's a thing." He goes, "That's happened here to him a couple times too." I'm like, because he's originally from Minnesota, and
yeah.
but I'm like Minnesota, that's probably Canada. Jesus Christ, that
Exactly.
state, that state is fucking cold, but damn,
I don't know if I would know how to act in that cold of weather. Like, especially with all that snow. I mean, it gets cold
yeah,
down here, don't get me wrong, but we
yeah, yeah.
hardly ever have snow. You know,
Well, Chris and
you
them were telling
start
me
talking
that
about
Dennis.
24, 36 inches of snow.
Yeah,
I can't even get that visualized in
yeah,
my
no,
head what that would be
yeah,
like.
no thanks, no thank you.
That's just too much of a good thing.
Yeah, we got in Jersey we've gotten quite a bit recently here, but and but yeah, they got some. Dennis and Chris were telling me they got snow down there in the Carolinas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right, there you go, bro. That you look fierce. All right, you sweet. That'll work. I'll keep it. That's a good one. Oh, I forgot something. Got to eject around. There we go. That's the other thing. I love when I see comics when they're like like they'll again only because I've been around firearms and like they'll you've seen it in comics too. They'll draw a bullet that has been shot out of a firearm and it's traveling and it still has the casing on it
That
because
kills
they
me,
don't.
man.
Yeah, because they
Yeah,
don't understand that it's the casing that fires the bullet. It's just the gun that hits the
exactly.
primer. So
That
I
shit
laugh so
drives
hard when I
me
see that.
insane every time I
Yeah.
see it.
Yep. Yep.
Like, really?
Uh, Hey, I gotta step away and take my dog out. I'm still gonna be on here. I'm just gonna step off for a minute.
Hey, do what you gotta do, bro.
I will be right back.
All right, bro. Yeah, if we still got some folks in the chat, like I said earlier, don't get mad at me. Not trying to ignore you guys. I wanted to set the camera up where you could actually see what I was doing, and so and like I said earlier, or the way my phone's set up, I cannot see the chat at all. It's not updating, so the way my phone is set up. So don't be mad at me. Don't think I'm being a dick. I just wanted you guys to be able to actually see what I was doing here. So yeah, I'm proud of it. I love this piece anyway, and this cover. And I've always wanted to do a work of it, and loving how it's turning out. The only thing that I regret, I wish I'd have pulled Superman a little closer over here because I had to change the whole angle of his arm to be able to fit Batman in here where you could actually see him. So that's my only regret with this piece. But other than that, absolutely love it. It's turning out just exactly how I wanted, other than that one little minor complaint. And I can live with that because I'm really proud of how the work's turning out. But yeah, just gonna let you guys know. Probably looking at, I know Jason and Chris are looking at launching Kickstarters in March. So I want to help those guys promote and stuff. So I'm probably going to wait and do mine in April. Do End of Days 3, Chapter 3 in April. So that's what I'm shooting for right now. And if anything changes, I'll let you know. So, but yeah, April's what I'm shooting for as of right now for EOD Chapter 3. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll work. I'm taking it. I'll live with it. Yeah, one of my favorite Batman runs of all time was Jim Lee's Hush. Absolutely loved it. A lot of people try to shit on the story. They don't like Jeff Loeb, but I love Hush.
All right, I'm back.
All right, buddy. I was just talking about well, a little bit of everything. Talking about when I'm looking at launching my next book, and
All right.
uh, you and Chris are shooting for March on your next one, right?
I was. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing April. My next one's April 1st.
Okay, well, shit, I might jump
Yeah.
back to March then. I wanted to be off, not in a campaign, so I could help you guys promote.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Uh,
I looked at originally at March, but then Chris and I were talking, and considering the nature of my Unhinged book and the character involved, I think April Fool's Day is perfect. So we decided to push it to there.
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm probably gonna jump back to March then. Might shoot.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna have to look at it
Excited.
and see what my schedule looks like because I want to be home for most of it, and
Right.
especially the beginning. I mean, if I that's the way it is. The way I work, if I work 3 on and 3 off. Well, 21 on and 21 off. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
catch the beginning of it, or I'm gonna catch the end of it. That's just all there is to it. I'm gonna miss 1 week here or there. So I'd rather, and I plan on definitely doing a live for the launch of this going around. So
Well, I gotta get with you and find out your actually dates that you're here and then you're not, because I definitely get you on a phalanx like we talked before. So
yeah, I'd
definitely
love
want
to
to
be
do
on,
that.
man. I was so
Yeah. So
disappointed.
I felt bad, but there's plenty. We do them every month now, so no shortage.
That's that's
Never
awesome.
shortage. Yep. We decided to make them monthly, and so And they're fun. We always pick a topic.
Yeah, I went back and watched the last one that well, I watched that one and the one before that. Yeah, you guys,
Okay.
that's the kind of shit. That's what I'm down for, man. I'm down like
Yeah, we
playing
don't.
stuff like that.
We get passionate about it. We don't. We don't. I don't try to. And we talk about things that are relevant. And we our thing is we always want somebody to. They hope that they learn
Right.
from something maybe they watched. You know what I mean? Maybe they learned something, and that would be really awesome. And that's kind of what we hope for.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, because there's not a whole lot out there to show you how to do what we do. I mean, you really have
right.
to dig to find it. I mean, honestly, it
Yep.
took me a long time to a lot of research and stuff and checking into this stuff. And I mean, that's before I knew all you guys. And I mean, I had to figure out how to do this shit all by myself.
I hear you. I hear
So if I can give somebody a leg up, I man, that makes my day.
you. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we don't say that this is, we don't claim that anything that we're talking about is the only way to do something or anything like
Right,
that. It's
right,
just a way. It's just something. It's our experiences. That's what we're talking
exactly.
about.
What we've learned.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, we're not talking about anything else, and that's just what we're talking about. We're not, not trying to sell you a bridge or anything like that, or tell you that, we're just sharing things that, because I
Work.
always, my favorite thing that always happened, that I always liked is listening to other people's experience on things. That stuff always, uh, always meant, oh, I always enjoyed people talking about things because I find real human, real human experience is always better than some guy being like, this is what you have to do. This is a pride and proven. No, I want to hear about when it didn't work too, as much as I want to hear about it working. I don't,
Exactly.
your failing is more important to me than your success because I
Exactly.
know you're,
I've
I
learned
know
more
you're,
from my failings than anything.
yeah, let me tell you something. When I used to actively compete and then, when I started teaching fighters, I always told them, I was like, you learn more from a loss than you'll ever do from a win. A win is just going to show you that what you learned works. A loss is going to show you where you need to work on yourself, where
Right.
areas you need to work on. So that was, that was always a big thing that we always wanted to teach you guys that, you got to understand that winning is just proving technique. And you're not, going back to the drawing board. Sometimes it's not that you got to reevaluate yourself. You got to decide, you know, it shows you where you need to work. That's it. That's all it does.
Exactly.
Yep.
And like I tell, we train new guys out there all the time. And what
Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
always tell them, if you never make a mistake, when they screw up, I'm not going to just, now if they continue to screw up, yeah, that's when
Well,
I'm going
of
to ream
course.
their ass out.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
first time they mess up, I say, look, man, don't worry about it. Here's what you did wrong. Here's how you need to fix that. If you never make a mistake, you're not doing anything. If you're doing something, you're going to screw up eventually.
That's
So
right.
don't sweat it and move on. Learn from
Yep. That's it. Tell the guys at work the same thing. Uh, so, be ain't, yeah. As long as like exactly what you said. As long as you're not still doing it, that's the
it.
problem.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You continue to do it. Yeah. We're going to have a
Right,
deeper
right.
conversation and you're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
like how it goes.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely want to get you scheduled on one of them. And,
Oh, yeah.
or,
I'll
like I
get
said,
with you.
yeah, it's also one of those things where it's always it's an open door. There's never
Well, I appreciate
we
that.
always,
Right there.
yeah, it's always for everybody. Like, because you've had D on twice now, and Dan. So, and especially too is like you're always guaranteed. You're in guaranteed. And I don't pretend like our YouTube channel is anything. It's nothing. It's not. You know, I think we only got like
You
130
got to
subscribers.
start somewhere.
Right,
Got to
but
start
I
somewhere.
don't pretend we're anything big or it's like the show to be on because it's not. It's just a bunch of people just get on there, we hang out, we have a blast every single time.
That's what I really
Oh
like about it.
yeah, we always and man, if
That's
we
my
ain't
kind of thing.
yeah, we ain't making fun of each other. So that's just
Exactly.
what we yeah, and it's just we just try to sorry, I'm drawing all off the panel, but
Yeah, I was breaking Dennis's balls the other night on the live. He jumped on with me and Dan. Well, actually,
hmm
I was breaking his ball. I knew he was in the chat, so I was breaking his balls on before that just to get him in there. Because I was like, he told me that he'd already got accepted to the South Carolina thing. He's like, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, I got a table months ago, and then I was like, yeah. Appreciate it, bud. It'd been nice to know that, so I wouldn't be on a waiting list now. You know, thanks for telling us. 'Cause I mean, the last thing I thought about was a con. When everybody started talking about it, I was
yeah.
like, hell yeah, South Carolina, I can do that. That's close enough to me. But yeah,
Well,
if
that's
I'd
how
have
it is.
known
Like with
months
me.
ago, I'd have had a table too.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I said to him. Like, we have this SSB chat, and he dropped in and like, "Hey, we're doing this." I'm like, "Did you want to tell anybody that was a thing?" So some of
Exactly.
us maybe could have,
Been
I don't actively,
took part, yeah.
yeah, but
It's not like I just sit
sometimes.
around looking for comments. I'm
Well,
trying to get a
that's what I said
book
to him. I'm like,
out.
I don't, and I'm sure my job. I'm sure it's similar to yours. Like, you got to put in. For us, we have to put in our vacation. I mean, we could take days here and there, but for the most part, they have to be submitted the end of one year to be good for the next,
Dude, my
right?
vacation, if I don't get it in the 3 weeks I'm home, I don't get it.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's got to be a family emergency for me to get off during my scheduled work time.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said to him. I said, well, I said, you got to understand. I said, for me to put in vacation like that, I really can't. I have my shit's all usually done. Uh, it has to be done at a particular time frame. I mean, I can take off certain days, but to take off like a weekend, I'll never be able to do that. Because for me, I work every other weekend. So one
Right,
weekend, I'd have to
right.
burn to take off a weekend for these shows. I have to burn 36 hours of vacation if I'm scheduled to work that weekend.
Yeah,
So
I can
yeah,
totally
that's looking
relate
pretty
to
good.
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is looking good.
it's getting there. I'm just trying to line them up size wise, right? Because I
Right.
was running into the issue about uh, trying to match them up. I had to race it once before, but it's getting there now.
Yeah, like I was saying when you were off, I was talking. I don't even know if we got anybody in here watching this or not. But hell, I was
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
if yeah, me neither. I'm just having a damn good time. But
That's what the replay's for.
exactly. Oh, whether anybody was in there or not, if they weren't, I was just fucking talking to myself. But anyway, I was talking about my only complaint about this piece. I love how it's turning out. My only
No,
complaint
it's
was
freaking
that I
awesome.
didn't take Superman and shift him a little more over to the right where I could have got more Batman in there. But see, I had to change the angle of the arm to be able to get
Yeah,
Batman in there. So
get the
it
bat.
worked out. It worked
Yeah,
out.
it's all right. Or now it's more original. Now it's a
Exactly.
right. I posted. I had some posted those. when we were doing those homage covers, right? We did the Dark Knight Returns homage cover,
Yeah, I love those.
and we had that amazing fantasy one for the poster. Sleek made the amazing
Yeah,
fantasy
that was
14
badass.
poster, right? So I had some troll popped under. He's like, man, if you got when you steal from the best,
Oh
right? He
wow.
wrote on it, and then he wrote, oh man, that's an interesting take on plagiarism, right?
Oh, it
Some
didn't.
guy. Yeah. So I was like, now I'm very confrontational. Like I live for that shit, and it's just as my wife says, I'm too alpha personality, and but So I was like, all right. So, but then you got to realize you just want to, you'll feed the trolls. You try not to feed the trolls.
Yeah, exactly. You got ball sack 134 coming in with a hot take,
Yeah,
you
right.
know. I
Well,
mean,
that's the
fuck
thing.
him.
I looked at this guy. This guy actually has a legit YouTube channel, and he has like 2,000 followers. And I'm like, really? That's your jam? Like, you're gonna come? And I said, I went to write back. I'm like, reading is clearly not one of your strong suits because it clearly says homage cover, and it clearly
Exactly.
says what it's an homage for. I'm like, it's not plagiarism, but doofus.
Yeah.
People are stupid. People just want to hear themselves talk.
Yep. There's too many of those.
Yeah, and you're writing stuff like that, and you think like, man, I was talking to Chris about. It. I said, man, old me would have went after this guy like nobody's business. But I said, it's just not worth it to feed these kind of
Oh man,
people
that's
with
like
shit.
one of the pictures I posted here recently.
Yeah,
Um, somebody, yeah, I had a troll come at me, and just because I didn't put after so and so at the end of my signature, I clearly put in the post that it was a homage
yeah.
and
It's probably the
and
same.
a
I,
and a
I bet you.
art
I bet.
study and an art study to who I was actually used for the reference for the piece.
I bet you it's
And
the
he
same
comes
guy.
at me, well, you need to have after so and so after you see. I'm like,
I
I
know.
didn't just straight
Everybody.
out say it, but I'm like, fuck off, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
really?
everybody has a freaking know-it-all. The internet
Yeah.
is littered with know-it-alls. So I mean, everything. It's just littered with them. Yeah,
But yeah,
they're
that's
everywhere.
that's what we were talking about earlier. I just can't stand folks like that. The only
Yeah,
way they can make themselves feel better is by tearing somebody else down, or
yeah, yeah,
trying to tear
yep,
somebody else down.
yep.
They don't bother me. Fuck them. I've gotten to the point in life where,
Yeah, I'm like,
hey,
man, that's a
yeah,
shit.
it's
Like, I'm
not
like,
worth
man,
it. You're not getting my blood
no,
pressure up.
yeah, yeah. I say to people, I'm like, have you seen the shit I've seen in my fucking life? You think your little words are gonna bug me? So,
Exactly, man.
man, I've been shot. I've been fucking, see me
Oh
fucking like,
wow, really?
I was like,
You?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm like, your words don't, it's like there's more important shit in the world than listening to somebody bitch and moan about something.
Exactly.
You don't
Life's
like my
too
art?
short, man. You don't
Yeah,
like
you
my
don't like
shit?
it.
Don't look at it.
That's it. Don't look at it. That's right. But forever. That's how long. It's been 3 hours now. People said
Oh
I won't even
wow.
draw. Yeah, I'll have to jump
Yeah.
off pretty soon. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's like,
me
how long you been
too.
drawing? I'm like, we've like forever. We've been drawing and chit chatting. That's what we've been doing. So having a good time.
Oh yeah. Man, I've had an awesome time.
Yeah, absolutely. Drawing little, drawing. Always drawing that Dan Banner.
Who is it? Oh
Ah,
yeah,
Dan.
Dan Banner.
Dan Banner.
Yeah.
Dan Banner.
Dan
Dan Banner.
Banner. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about much of a legend he's going to be afterwards, but
Yeah, well, it'll be a legend about how he fucking died.
Yeah,
They'll,
there'll be
they'll
nobody
become
left to
an
talk
urban
about him.
legend. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be nobody left to talk about him. I can promise you that.
They'll be like, man, do you remember those gang members that got killed in that alley?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's basically how Resurgence will. Oh, in my, okay, Roger that. He says, not just now, but in my life. I've been drawing. Well, I wish I could say that. Well, I mean, I guess I've been drawing here and there, even though I took a little bit of layoff of comic books. I still was drawing stuff. Right now, oh gosh, well, my, I don't know, 45 years maybe. I've been drawing since I was a kid. Uh, I'm
Mm.
old,
Yeah,
so
let's see. I've probably been doing this, which don't get me wrong, I don't really count it. Well, I mean, it was drawing, and I've been doing it with a damn
yeah,
color, but
sure.
I've
That's
pretty
what I
much
said. Oh
been
yeah,
doing
that's what
it
I'm saying.
since
It's
I
still a
was
drawer, yeah.
5. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a me too. That's what I counted since I was 5. Yeah, yep,
yeah.
same here.
I'm looking at 39 years now drawing.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm calling
Yeah.
this done, man. What do you think about it?
It's good. It looks done to me. You gonna ink it? You gonna leave it like it? You gonna put it up for
No,
commission?
I love the traditional stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I hear
I'll probably throw it in there. See if
you. Yeah.
anybody likes it. And hell, if they don't,
Yeah.
I'll hang it on the wall.
That's it. That's what you can do. That's the best part. Mhm.
I've
Yeah, I
always
can't
wanted to
say.
tackle this piece. Always.
That's really
I
awesome.
really,
It's well, I
I
definitely can't
appreciate
say
it, man.
mine's done. Mine's not done. I still got another. I gotta. I still got to finish. I have
10,
this
15
page.
pages?
This right here is. Pages. I keep adding pages and getting rid of pages. So this is.
Dude, I
I'm
do that shit all the time.
yeah. This is an added page. So this is now my new page 11. Even though I'm well
Gotcha.
past this, I wanted to set more up in this. So I needed more between this interaction here. I needed this. So I had to create a new page. So
Yup. Know exactly what
but
you mean, man. I do that all the time. I went
yeah,
back, I want to say I added, let's see, 4 pages to the last one. And then
yeah. I mean,
I
yeah.
redid half of the first book from scratch.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I know exactly what
I, I did that on Hunter's Moon. What Hunter's Moon is like. We were looking for a new colorist, so I had the time, and
you mean.
I didn't. The Hunter's Moon book that I originally first drafted, the draft that was originally going to be the comic, I wasn't entirely happy with. Uh,
Yeah, right.
it told the story, but it didn't tell. I felt kind of rushed with it, right? So
Gotcha.
when I knew I needed a new colorist. That gave me the time I needed, so I decided that I was going to. Yeah, like's too short. I was going to. Um, I was going to tell the story I wanted, so I took 2 drafts of the story. I took 2 different drafts, and I combined them into one draft, and that meant that I had to add 10 pages to combine them. And
Right.
so I went from being it ended up becoming a 36-page book, and but I told the story I wanted to tell. So that it
Gotcha.
happened for a reason, and I was very pleased. It was stressful at the time, but I literally told the story. It's a much better story. It fleshes out the characters and the Convictor's world a lot better, and and it's basically every page that I added was basically the page of the Convictor getting his ass beat by the Wolfman. So that's
I tell
basically what it
you
was
though,
because I.
you're about like me from what I can tell so far. I went back. I always go back and look at my stuff really close to get all the little fine details,
Mhm.
And I also look at the flow of the storytelling, and if it's
Right.
not going the way I need it to, or the way I think it should, I'm gonna go back in there and add a page or two to keep that flow
Yep.
going.
Yep.
That's one thing I work really hard at is my storytelling.
Yeah, it does not look
with
right.
my art. So
Yeah. All right, I'm happy with his front leg. I do not like this leg's too short. Change that. Using my kneaded eraser. Here I go. See? Boom. All right.
was that the putty one?
That was the putty one. Yeah, it comes in like a little
I
square.
will be
It
picking. I'm gonna check that out today.
it literally looks like a Nowelator. It comes in a
I have
packet with a
got
clear
to.
pad
Yeah,
strip.
I've got to check that out.
You get it. There's some different brands. Get a good brand. There's some that are kind of more snap and stuff like rubber.
Yeah,
Because the more you need this, the more that you need it. Like I said, it cleans, but it doesn't snap. It pulls. See, that's a good
yeah,
one that pulls. The other ones you
yeah.
get them.
So
I have ones that.
what's a good brand?
This one is a shit. What is it? It is. Well, it would be any brand of like that's making pencil supplies. You know what I mean? Like I think Steedler makes one. I think
Well, I definitely
uh
trust their stuff. So if
yeah,
I see
because
one of
this now
those, I'll be picking it up.
this is a cheap one right here. This green one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I don't like
See,
that.
this is
Yeah,
this yeah, this is just some of them just snap in the garbage.
that's like old
But
Play-Doh or latchy
yeah,
taffy or something.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one might have be made by maybe it was made by a company called General. I got this one at Michael's, but I know Hobby Lobby sells them. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
you'll see them.
I
It
checked Michael's out too. They
best
Hobby
bet.
Lobby got to where our Hobby Lobby got to where they weren't carrying these
No,
Steeler
you can get
erasers.
this one from Michael's.
And
This
yeah,
is
I get
you
this.
can definitely
I
get from
started getting
Michael's.
these at Michael's.
Yeah,
This is the only place I could find them was Michael's because
you
our
get a
Hobby Lobby quit
stay away.
carrying them.
If you're gonna get the kneaded eraser, stay away from the colored ones. Just get a gray one. And
Okay.
yeah, Michael's definitely got it. I think Michael's makes that's General, I think. But yeah,
Okay.
Michael's
Yeah,
has them.
I'm familiar with that brand. I've got
Yeah,
some of their
definitely
stuff
that
too.
one. Yeah, this one definitely came from Michael's. I know that, and I've been using this one. I mean, yeah, I've had this since God for a few years.
Wow. That's another thing about all of us, man. We can just sit back and talk shop.
Yep.
Something as simple as damn art supplies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But
So
yeah,
Dan Bana.
You're the only other guy out of everybody that I've talked to that really is on the bandwagon of Clip. That is a fantastic program to me. I love it.
I like Clip because it's idiot proof,
It is.
and I
It
mean
really is,
for
man.
yeah for a guy that's trying to learn this stuff, I don't want to be like Photoshop is I can't no, it's
No,
just
I
there's no
tried
way.
Photoshop.
Yeah,
I threw in the towel quick.
yeah. There's no way I could do it. So
Clip is so
speaking of
user friendly, man. It's so
hmm
user friendly.
so check this out. How you doing? Dan Bana is wearing very popular shoes from the 80s and 90s. He's wearing some
Oh
ponies.
hell yeah!
That's
If you didn't
all
have
I
a pair
do.
of ponies in the '80s,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know what to
yeah.
say about you.
And the other guy in this, my big guy, Juice. The other guy, remember Juice? He's got Adidas on, red ones with blue stripes. So
Oh God, yeah, I
he's in.
remember those.
Yeah, this
Do
is
you remember? Do you remember the British Knights?
yes, BKs, absolutely.
Yes, hell yeah.
Yeah, BKs were super popular when I
They
was
were
in.
big for about
Yeah,
what, 2 years, three? Well,
yeah.
they were kind of
There was
short lived. It was more like 2 years.
there was BKs, and then there was another company. Well, LA Gear used to be pretty popular for a
Yeah,
hot minute.
LA Gear was big.
And then what was the other one? There was another company. When I was living in Florida, when I was in high school in
You had
Florida, there
Asics.
was a Asics, and then there was a company called Troop. Troop was making shoes that competed with Fila. They were
I
very
vaguely remember Troop.
Troops are very big in Florida for some reason. They were massive, and
Wow.
but but yeah, I remember BKs. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I should have put
BKs were
BKs
the
on one of these
shit.
guys.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Yeah,
I
you
should have put
definitely
BKs.
do it. We're the only old farts that would recognize that reference, but that's just fucking
Exactly.
cool.
Well, that's what I said. I put the ponies on there, and people are like, "Are those Nikes?" I'm like, "They ain't freaking Nikes. These are ponies. Freaking
Yeah,
Nikes."
you could tell somebody's age real quick, like when they
Mm.
start making dumbass comments
Well,
like that.
I even got Dan's pants. His pants are pegged. His jeans are pegged. You know,
Oh
he has them
wow.
rolled up at the bottom. Yeah,
Yeah, the
this
tight
is
roll.
literally. Yeah, he's a tight roll. That's right. It's literally a love letter to everything that I loved about the '80s and '90s. So
Yep, late '80s, early '90s. That's
he's got
it,
French.
man.
Yeah, Dan's got like 2 friendship bracelets on his wrist. Yeah, he's got all
Oh
kinds
wow.
friendship bracelets. Friendship bracelets. But
Oh
yet he's a piece of
God, yeah.
shit.
I had a buddy that used to make them. Well, actually, his
Yeah.
older sister made them, and she made a fortune off of all of us making them.
Oh yeah.
She,
Oh yeah.
yeah, she charges
Yep.
like $1 a piece, but she made the good ones. They were better than the
hmm
shit you could buy in the store.
And then they came out with slap bracelets and realized that people like us were trying to kill each other with them.
Yep,
So.
I have hit many of individuals with slap bracelets, especially on the bus coming home from school.
Yep.
We'd have
Oh
slap bracelet fights.
yeah. I had a. I saw a meme out there where somebody said, "Have you ever looked inside of the fabric on a slap bracelet?" And I said, "Yeah," and inside of it's a legit tape measure, piece of a tape
Hmm.
measure
Yeah,
that they cut up. I had no
that's
idea.
all it is. Yeah.
That blew my mind. Yeah.
And we were bad about pencil pop too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've still got
Yeah.
scars on my fingers from
hmm
pencil pop.
It's nice to know that these things were transcending all across the United States. Because yeah, we did that when I was in Florida. We did the did you do the where you took the pencils and tried to break each other's pencil with the
Yeah,
pencil?
yeah,
Yeah,
old pencil pop.
yeah, pencil pop, man. And we used to cut you'd pull the erasers out,
Yep,
right?
squeeze
And then
the metal
you squeeze
together
it
where it cut.
and sharpen them. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've got scars on some of my knuckles
yeah.
where they
How
missed.
how did
And
how did any of us survive? I don't know, but
see the way
the
we
other.
would play it, if you hit a finger like that,
Uh-huh.
you had to take 2 licks to the shoulder.
Yep. We played something else that we did was it was called well we called it comb fighting, but and I remember back in the 80s and stuff like those plastic combs that they sold. They're all plastic. It had a handle on them, but they were all plastic.
Yeah,
Like all the kids, everybody had them. They were just huge in the 80s, late 80s.
yeah,
Same time
yeah.
as slap
I remember
bracelets,
those.
they were big. So we would have them, and we would take them, and let me pull this back a bit. We would take them, and we would hold one. You'd hold it between your hands, right, with the handle facing this
Right?
way, and then the other person would have to try to grab it and then
Yep,
hit you in the knuckles with the teeth.
yep. I remember
Now,
that.
and yeah, and if you moved your hands and they missed, then you got a free whack on them.
Yep.
And so man, I got scars all over my knuckles from that kind of shit from doing that, tons of them.
Hell,
But
we
that
would.
and then getting into professional fighting and all that shit, so my knuckles are shot.
Yeah, I can
But
imagine. Uh,
yeah.
and floating dollars, we would save our lunch money, and we would float
Yeah.
dollars, or we would flip quarters. We'd
Okay.
flip
Yep.
too. Yeah.
Flipping quarters is fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
That's
I
crazy. It's
used to
crazy
kill
how
them with
like
that. I had a double-sided quarter, and a lot of folks did. I cheated like a motherfucker, and
hey,
then
you
I
do what you
got
gotta do.
caught. Yeah, I mean, hell, I come up poor, man. I mean, you had to
Mhm.
get money somehow. If
Yeah, that's
you
right.
had to hustle.
That's awesome. You do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Hustle's right. Definitely. Definitely gotta hustle. All right, I think I called this panel done. Well, not done,
Looks
but
good, man.
because
Looks,
yeah, I go in and I put all this. I'll put the basic, and then I go in and do like background and details, and then I go
right,
back and
right.
I have
I got
my
you.
method is all yeah, my method is all over the place, but it all
Well, I
depends
tell
if
you, I'm the same way though. Now, I'll go in when I'm doing a panel, I'll do the characters first, of course. And
hmm
then, sometimes I might wait till the next page or something before I'll come back and do that background because I don't know if you noticed in my book, there is a lot of detail in my backgrounds. The
Yeah.
backgrounds is what eats my lunch on time because
Yeah.
I really put a lot of time into it.
Yeah. I like. Well, I'm lucky. Like here for the backgrounds, this is in an alleyway, so all the
Yeah,
alleyway stuff
yeah,
in
I
Gut City
got you.
is very it's various degrees of broken and shitty. I mean, the first opening page, I have the city. I have a lot of city shots, but coming into the rest of the book, like this is all takes place in one alleyway, so
Right.
that makes it a little simpler when I'm
Yeah.
trying to do this because alleys in Gut City all basically look the same anyway, and yeah, so they're all if it's there's nothing in this city that isn't that isn't busted and broken because if you're not the rich live in one particular area in the city and everybody else doesn't matter. So that's
Well,
how
I'm
it
gonna
is.
have to. You were talking about your ash cans that you're doing with this book, which I think is just absolutely awesome. I'm gonna have to dig out some of my old stuff from my high school time to show
That's what
you
you gotta
guys.
do, man. Yeah, that's the way to go.
And
It's
that's another reason why I went and redid half of the first book because
hmm
back then I was big on the characters and big on the action, but I didn't really want to put the time in for the background. And
yeah,
that's what I've really tried to focus on here, especially in the last book, was just adding a lot to those backgrounds, man, because I
right.
wanted London to be a character in itself, and it just adds so
Sure.
much to the book, man. It really does.
Absolutely. Like I said, your detail work is great. Your backgrounds are great. Like I said,
I appreciate it.
especially drawing Victorian stuff. Like that's time consuming.
It's
And
it's been a
'cause
challenge, but I love the architecture. I
yeah,
love it.
and you have to get a lot of reference work. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
people don't
It's like
understand what it takes to make comments. They don't understand that it's references and it's
it's a lot of
people
homework,
just
man.
don't. Yeah, they
Especially a
don't get it.
period piece. If you
Yep,
want it
they
to
don't get
to
it.
look authentic, you got to put the homework in.
That is, or especially the other thing that you're dealing with. Having mythology or
Right,
Christian,
right.
theology, and have that all put in there.
Yep.
And
You
that's
gotta you
also
gotta look at
research.
all of it.
Yeah, that's also research. Yep. Because I guess it's kind of like a spoiler, but later on in the Convictor books, that towards the end, I don't just have like one type of mythology. Like I cram lots of different pantheons together at the end of this
Oh
book.
wow, that's cool.
And you find out that a lot of this stuff is things are orchestrated for a reason
Right.
and my boy Convictor is like stuck right in the middle of the whole thing. So because
That's cool.
I try people always they ask me, they're like, well, how does he have a super, is he super powered? I was like, no, he has no superpowers other than him being he has this will. And
Right.
they're like, well, I said, I don't call it a superpower. I call it a super trait. Like
Right.
and it
A
was,
lot of people
but
don't
I
get that though, man. I
yeah,
totally get it, but you got people out there, you know how they are.
yeah. Well, and I said, I was like, it was, it's he was born with it, or was it given to him? Like that'll, was it given to him
That
for a
yeah,
reason?
yeah,
Was
it'll
he
play
was
out. I mean, just
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
tell them just stick with the
Gotta wait.
story, and you'll. I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you, just
yeah,
buckle in for the
exactly.
ride.
That's it. Yeah, you just gotta hang on. Just hang on to the
Yeah,
story.
just
Just listen.
patience. Patience is a
Yeah,
virtue.
yeah. All things will I will do my best to answer everything.
That's what
So,
modern day comics have ruined people. They don't
yeah.
go for long form storytelling.
No.
That's what I miss the most about the glory days back when we were kids and collecting. I mean, it might be 20 issues before something actually paid off. Where now they
Yep.
try to just knock it out in either one book or maybe six books, and then guess what? We're rebooting the whole universe all over again, and everything that you invested in this book don't mean shit anymore because it don't
Yep,
exist.
that's it. And that's it. We talk. Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about. Like you don't like nobody wants that. So
No, God, though.
like don't just yeah. I mean, stick with the story. Fix the story. There you go. That's a way better like. Fix the
Right.
story, and then but you know they don't want to do that. Everybody thinks that just well, why fix the story when I can just reboot the story?
Exactly.
Like, well,
They don't
it's
want to
not
put the
really gonna.
time in to actually do good quality work
Yep, that's right.
and fix what they broke. Well, we'll just start completely over.
Yep, just start all over. That's the easy solution. There
Yep.
you go. That looks better. All right,
That's
pal.
looking good, man.
Thanks, man. I'll have it done tonight. I got some more stuff, but pulling
Hey, shoot
legs
it
is
to me
kind of
when you get done, if you don't
yeah,
mind. I'd
yeah,
love to see it.
yeah, yeah. It's getting there. So we're getting there. But
But yeah, I hate to do it, man. I've thoroughly,
so,
thoroughly
just,
enjoyed this. I mean, I
yeah, bro.
really
Me
have.
too.
This has been a lot of fun. But I'm
Yeah,
fixing to
man.
have to bounce, brother.
Yep. Same, same.
I gotta go get my mop chopped because my
Yeah. All right.
head literally looks like a squirrel's nest right now, and I gotta go get that fixed.
You still there?
I will catch. Yeah, I'm still here. I will catch you later.
All right,
All
Dave.
right,
Have
pal.
a
It was a
blessed one,
pleasure.
brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
Oh,
Take
yeah,
care.
definitely. Really
All right.
appreciate you coming on, brother.
Of course.